Hey, good morning.
Good morning to all of you. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Just want to let you know that I've already got my mail order bride here, or biatch, whichever one you guys want to go with.
Maayong buntag sa tanan. Good morning to you all.
Oh, gee, many crikeys, no one will ever come back. Welcome to Passport Heidi Ho here, and I brought my little Joe Ho here. Little Joe.
What?
Hey, Joe. Guys, Chad2Dad drama and saga continues. We dug a little deeper, and I know there's been a crap more information put out. This is the same situation as when like a hot topic comes out and like more and more leaks out, but the whole time it was there. So this guy, Kent Roller, his whole freaking life is out there. But there's a couple bombshells we're going to discuss. George has only seen part of this footage for sure. I was trying to show him some of this morning, and all I can say is this guy is a professional all the way around. And it is what I thought it was. And I'm about to tell you hell to the no on some of this. There'll probably be more cussing in this show than you guys have ever seen, because George was like, I don't see a problem with that. I don't see. And then this morning he's like, yeah, that's a major problem. And there's so many red flags on both sides of this relationship. We have an update from his wife, Jayanne or whatever her name is, whatever. And her, call her skinny legs with eyebrows. Skinny legs with
Whoa.
eyebrows. Dude, nobody asked for your low moderator situation today.
It's gonna be that goddamn good show. It's gonna be a damn good show.
Are you gonna be nice? You're not Asian enough today. So
Oh,
we're
damn.
doing a Southeast Asian, deep Asian, Southern live stream today.
What?
Lord, I was born a gambling man. That's us trying to make a living and doing the best I. No, you don't know that song. When it's
I know the song. I don't know the lyrics.
leaving. Okay, I hope this guy understands that he was definitely born a passport broken brain man.
Whoa.
Dude, and that's me. What did I say last night? I said, I wish I could sit around like that Legion guy and some of these other guys. I'm just trying to keep it legal and keep the channel together right now. Because besides that, every third word would be an F or a B or punk ass B. But the whole point is this guy and this woman, the whole story is just out there. And as of 12 hours ago, she releases more information, and she also addresses him, and she does speak some Tagalog. So, George, I'm going to have him translate that, and all kinds of stuff. So, some of you may know a little bit more about him at this point, but when we did the live stream 2 days ago, we did not, you know. Oh, okay, you did have the light on. It's like I know it's dark in my corner, but anyway, so there's a lot going on. So let's see. Well, we got people coming in the room. Did you try your coffee there?
Ta-da.
Hey, a big shout out to the biggest passport brother out here.
What?
What?
What's that?
Old dog.
Oh, dog. How about Paul? Paul. Hey, Paul.
Hey. No. And I was going to call this new guy, like literally, and I don't mean as in Paul is like really being old. No, this guy's been doing it a long time, this Kent guy. We got to admit he's probably been doing it since the 90s. An original passport bro. You guys thought the guys in Dumageddon were the original passport bros? No. And that's how come we're going to get into his first wife. Did you know his first wife is Asian?
Imelda?
Isn't Imelda, dude? See, this is why you all wonder why I'm cutting him off or why I'm the one with all the information, because he's just here to be the brainy one. We're like Pinky in the Brain. You do know you're the brain, right? Pinky and the brain.
Yeah, I'm very familiar. I love Pinky and the Brain.
It's a good show. I like Beavis and Butthead. Do you know which one you are on Beavis and Butthead?
Well, technically, Animaniacs was a good show. Being Brain was the sign.
Animaniac.
Although it should be the other way around.
Hey, I just want to let you guys know, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Also consider membership. There's like 60 other videos. We put out information on different things going on. Like we just released something about people with Billy buying and other privileges that are getting a hard time in their airports, or, you know, we don't mind taking one-on-one with you guys when you guys are members. We try to give priority. And even if they're nasty comments, we probably still will post them. So please consider membership. It helps pay for George's funeral funds. My, you know what? Nobody has said anything about my Joe Dirt haircut. I went back to the mullet. You want to touch the mullet? Go on. The mullet is back.
There might be raccoons in there. So
last night there was. I guess so. So the mullet is back. By that, I want to let you guys know the mullet is back in style. Mm-hmm. So, so blame people not coming into the room, you know, as far as waiting for the room to build up. We're going to go ahead and play these clips, so stick around because, I think we want to present why we talk here and get the room built. Let's start with this to show his website and show you a little bit about his website. And I'll tell you who designed the website here in a minute. Add it to the stage, dude. There he is. Kent Roller. Aloha. Oh, let's pause on this one. I just want to let you guys and girls know there's a little eye candy for you. Eye candy. Big shout out to Sarah and the ladies out there. All my single ladies. All my single ladies. That was going to be wrong. I'm going to say he kind of looks like one of my uncles, but that really would have been wrong on top of everything else.
Wow.
But, well, you never seen my uncles when they were younger.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that
He does
that
look
makes
like
it
my
much
brother.
better. Yes,
I know. That's why I didn't want to say it at the
Yes.
same time. Young West Virginia.
Yeah,
young.
that really defines the definition of Heidi being touched. You just saying. Anyway,
I've been touched all over the world.
wouldn't
I've been
doubt
around
it.
the world.
No doubt.
Okay, dude, raccoons and touching. Not right now. Later. So here he is. On this website, he shows how he does. He shows how he's into cosplay. He shows him and his ex-wife Mel. I'm starting to wonder about that ex-wife. Do we really think she's?
Wait. Slow it down. Slow it down.
Hold up. I can't tell
Who's
him.
this guy? We know his name. We just mentioned his name. But who is this guy? For those of you who just tuned in or never heard of this guy.
Sexy mother. Oh, this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy?
Oh, this guy is Kent. Chad2Dad, guys.
Right. But who is he? Why are we talking about him?
Why don't you break it down? All right. I thought people knew who Chad2Dad was.
Well, that's the thing. Most people assume.
Wait, so I'm getting to it. Okay. So Chad2Dad, to give you guys a catch up, because only one of the clips was from 2 days ago. So Chad2Dad and his wife, tall eyebrows, Jalen. Hey, I didn't call her Neanderthal again.
Whoa.
What is that Geico commercial? She would have worked.
I love those commercials.
But doesn't she look like one? Even her kids have the same eyebrows.
Hey.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with eyebrows. And she's got a pair of legs like ZZ Top. Ladies go crazy about.
Well, I don't think people know the Geico more than they know the FedEx one. But anyway, go ahead.
FedEx had Neanderthals?
Yes.
Okay, anyways. So they have been going through a relationship, and all of a sudden one clip came out, I think a week or so before Christmas. So I think it's been out for like 2.5 weeks. I don't have the time frame and I really don't care. That he made the statement that it only took 2 years to the day. No, that's why we're not dropping the clips. We still got a small room right now. That the actual only took 2 years to the day, and my wife is leaving me, and she's Americanized. And the statement that he put out sent the women up the wall and the men up the wall. And they're like, yeah, way to go, and blah, 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 and you leave them, and they're like, oh, don't deal with that crap. And he sent everybody into a tizzy. Then he announced that after a Disney vacation, which all kinds of more information we got to share with you today on this, I was supposed to get back with Sarah. Sorry, Sarah, I fell asleep. I think it was about 10 o'clock last night. I'd finished up these clips and I literally passed out. And um, so it turns out I'm hyped on caffeine right now, but it turns out that after the family vacation or during it, and I did find out about the funeral. I do want to let you know that his mother passed away 2 years ago, not recently. So the funeral stuff that he just recently put up and said is that his mother just died and this, and that. No, she died 2 years ago. They all just got together based on the funeral. So I think the one with them all together, which is strange because it includes her family. So in other words, it was recent that they did the funeral thing. That's where I was massively confused until you actually start watching the guy's stuff. It's like sitting through Elliot Eastman's stuff.
So it was like a death surgery or something.
Something like that. They wanted everybody together to do it. I guess they wanted to TikTok as a family. I mean, because they actually did it as a TikTok. But it turns out that he was really rude to her family. She came out and said some stuff. Since then, it's been a back and forth, and they're living in the same house. And the only way they were talking, according to them, to the world, that they're using the world as therapy right now, is that they talk through TikTok. She has an account, he has an account. Here's the thing. Several people have called them out saying that this is like similar to the David and Rose thing. They're putting their full drama out to increase their numbers, which their numbers have increased. She just mentioned she got monetized. That was the same with David and Rose. They put a bunch of that out, got monetized, put a bunch more out. Now there's a bunch more and all this stuff of don't send me money. She's done it 3 times now on air. Don't worry about setting up a GoFundMe or just send me any money because I got monetized recently, which takes forever. I don't have any money and I don't know what I'm going to do. This is the JN, his wife. It looks like he really does have money. So in the last live stream, we said that it didn't appear, and a lot of people said the same. It just looks like he had some money. No, he owns an IT business for almost 30 years, 28 years or something. And he's got some buildings and some construction and rentals. And so the man has somewhat, I wouldn't call him probably a multi-millionaire, but he does have money. It was a Louis Vuitton bag that he bought her as a pregnancy gift. And so he has okay money, you know. And so the guy has money and it is a leverage towards her. And in her most recent statements, you'll see she's got a new opinion and a new outlook of life. And I'm like, dang it, that's what I've been saying. When the Filipina P was out there flapping her jaws, talking about this and talking about that. And I'm like, it's exactly what this girl is saying now. And it's like, that's what we've been saying. You have to keep your nose to the grindstone and be independent, but still take care of your man. I mean, it's just where it is. And now she's saying, I should have had my own money. But anyways, you guys will see it. So let's let you guys see the rest of this. And oh, there he is. He built his wife's house. Okay, there he is. You can talk. I'm trying to get into the account here. I can't do. There he is with the cosplay. I think that's his Mel, his ex-wife at the top. Okay. So we will get to this in a minute. Whole nother story going on here, but we will stay and stick around for that story because there's a lot going on in this guy's life. But I think that is his ex or his current. What do we call her ex for? He lives like next door to the woman. But I think that's her when she was younger. I would have to agree that was probably her back in the day. I said the guy looked like the Karate Kid. Why am I not able to get out of this? I cannot. There it is. No.
What?
Oh, did I put that in there twice? You didn't roll it
No. Okay.
Okay, just go forward.
Okay, well.
You didn't take it back?
The one before that was the cosplay.
Gotcha. And there he is with this business, IT. I was wrong on him being a car lot person. He just happens to have a lot of cars. There's his wife, Mel. Wife was a wife of, according to
that
him,
was the end.
23
Yeah, that was
years.
the end.
Yeah, this was just his website I wanted to show you as we were talking about stuff. And then, yeah, I don't like when we're in small form. So we'll get straight into it because there's a bunch of clips, like I said, up to at the very end, stay to the end because there's stuff in there and it will show what's going on, but it's going to start by telling his story. Okay. And we'll stop in between. I'll try not to interrupt it too much. It pretty much tells itself, but we still want to be able to react. I don't want to play the whole thing and not try to get to the end and react. So now we'll see George's reaction.
This is my second meetup with JN. It's in the Philippines, Manila, on the outskirts of Makati in the neighborhood of San Andres. It's the peak of pandemic. The country is closed to all tourists. I paid $10,000 to get an investor visa that allowed me into the country. I've just spent 10 days in quarantine in a crappy little hotel that served inedible food. JN.
Okay. I have to say something about this. First off,
He's right about that one.
I mean, are you really that desperate for punani that you're going to pay $10K in dollars,
Correct.
mind you, in dollars
Correct.
to get into a country and not wait it out?
There's a reason that a lot of guys and women feel he did this. And I'll reveal what I feel and why he's going to tell you why he did this. Okay. And to preset this, if you guys seen it the other day, the reason he claims, and he still claims he left Mel, okay, is because she couldn't have kids. But right now she is 99.9% in deep with this man.
I was going to say, who left Mel?
No, he never left Mel.
Correct.
So
you'll see.
You'll see. So this is one of the bombshell situations, as he never left his wife.
He never left the wife, guys.
Never left.
And girls.
And
especially girls, because would you let this happen to you? I'm gonna let you. Would you let this happen to you?
Well, stay to the end. We want to hear your opinions on this because, according to sources and what it appears to be, and allegedly, this was all a surrogacy. They all became friends, and this is all about a surrogacy. And he's saying how much he loves his wife. Yeah, I mean, he's the mother of her children. I like George on some days. He's a nice cat daddy, you know. But I mean, I. So this is just showing that he paid for this to come see her. But I do want to let you know he did say this is the second time, correct? He said this second time he met her. And he had met her. He got her off of OK Cupid, which is Filipina Cupid. And that's where, and from the beginning, and he'll explain this in another story here coming up in a minute. Okay. How he met her on Filipina Cupid and all of that. So let's go. So yes, this seems like desperation to me, but he's been doing this a long time. Not this first rodeo with Asian women.
And her family were smuggling me fresh homemade meals like bagaong, chicken adobo, and rice. Lots of rice. But I still lost a lot of weight. As I said, this is our second meetup. The first time we met in person was in the Maldives in the summer of 2020. The whole world was closed. The Maldives was just one of a handful of countries that was even open at the time.
Mexico was.
Hello, special delivery.
JN became a passport sister to meet me there. It's now 8 months later and Anne is very, very pregnant. I'm here for the birth of our son. I'm in shock how much JN's body has changed since I first met her. But I'm delighted for the reason.
I just want to fill you guys in real quick. There are tons of videos. It was like going through what's his name's footage.
Eastman.
And in case you guys don't know, he just said his son was born. Okay, not his first child, by the way. That his son was born, and when he was born in the Philippines, he contracted some viral disease. I want to say that he said that it was MRSA or something made him sick in the hospital. And he's saying it was based on the cleanliness and he would never have another child in the Philippines. But he contracted something that was from the hospital, not just from the mother or It is. Mercer's a bad thing in some of the hospitals, and there's a few other things. But the baby was sick, so I just want to let you guys know. And I don't know if he fed her that to make her leave the country, because most Filipinas do not really want to leave their families. And here in a little bit, she'll be talking how there were two things that drove her nuts: not having her own money and not being around her family. And so, yeah. So, but he called her passport sister. I think she traveled once. That was it. That made her a passport sister. And wasn't that? I mean, there's different levels of passport. What they recognize as a passport brother or passport sister, but usually the reference is about guys or girls traveling to go get married, but usually it's led more towards the side of they're just out trying to get them a little something something. It's there's been different levels that they've named a passport brother, but it just became really popular last couple of years. So
why. She's more beautiful than I remembered. This is the apartment I rented for Jayan the second she became pregnant. Prior to this, aside from the Maldives meetup, I never gave Jayan money. My thinking was, why should I invest in this relationship without any guarantee it would turn into a family? Well, as you can plainly see, Anne invested her body and being up front. So now I've passported to do my part. We're off to the hospital right away for some much-needed pregnancy screenings. A month later, I'd be paid.
With all this money, and she claims her family has money and everything, she's this far along with no medical need. Everything's like double dramatic. Like, the food was so bad that I lost all this weight. And I'm like, yeah, the food was bad, but the guy brought me a pizza when I was in quarantine, remember? They were letting whole families, they were having parties in the quarantine areas. That's how loose the country was with quarantine. Remember when workers and people and everything else was coming and sitting in people's rooms? And I'm like, so yeah. So anyways, I don't know why she didn't get more medical.
Facing these same stairs, waiting the arrival of our son. Jayan's healthy, baby's doing great, so it's off for some street food. Here I'm having toge. It's like, it's delicious.
Touchdown, Moa.
Then it's off to the Mall of Asia for lunch, shopping, and coffee, and to have a normal dating experience.
Welcome to our channel. The last time we did a little
No
food
dating
vlog
experience
was
up
8
to
months
that
ago
point,
in the
now, did
Maldives.
that?
Remember that breakfast?
Let me sum this up for you. In a time when the world was closed off and uncertainty surrounded everything, love found a way. Jayan and I have journeyed across borders, navigated different cultures, and through the challenges of a global pandemic.
So the first place she's ever traveled to was the Maldives.
Yes, and she was already pregnant. The next time he seen her was when she was 8 months pregnant. They had not. So when this all fell apart, he was like, to the day, it's been 2 years.
I'm not picking at this guy, but everything he's saying, it seems like he's letting everybody know that everything's a first right now.
It is. He only met with her there, but here's the thing.
No, I'm talking about now. This video, during this video. This is after the Maldives.
Yes.
Correct.
He just
But
said
the
that.
way he's presenting things.
Correct, he is. They didn't really know each other. It was strictly, this is why the internet and the world is saying, or at least now they'll probably really be talking about it. Well, I've only seen 2 other people that said this, and I discovered it when she left the video yesterday. So really, this will probably be the next thing that they're going to juice out of this story. Because I told George, as long as there's juice in the story from now on, I'm going to keep on juicing it.
Right.
And so in this case, pay attention to the story. This seems all surrogacy. He never left his first wife, technically. She lives nearby.
There's a lot of questions on this because
That's what it seems like. They only met up, they hooked up. And here in a
Correct.
little bit, the next story that comes after this, they're going to tell another story of how they met on OkCupid. And she understood that he was looking for kids. And then they met at the Maldives. 8 months later, he's there again. Crazy. Everything was about the kids. Does he care about her? I believe he does. But the ex-wife is still around, and there's no way. I get businesses run. I get all these other things. No way. Wait till you see all of it. I'm like, oh, no. And then when you hear the updates from his wife, yeah, let's get through this because it's getting juicier by the moment. So
Yeah.
But our greatest adventure is just beginning with the arrival of our son, our daughter, and more to come. From the Maldives to Manila, our relationship has grown in ways I never imagined. And the sacrifices that we both made have led to something really beautiful, our family. Today, we enjoy the simple moments, street food shopping, lunch dates. We're reminded that love, commitment, and the courage to invest in one another can overcome even the toughest of times, bringing us closer and making these everyday experiences all the more meaningful. Thanks for watching.
All right.
okay,
Oh. go
yeah, let it go.
I had my son kidnapped from me. She violated court orders, she broke the law, and she currently has a warrant for her arrest and can't come back to the United States.
Okay, so I want to let you know that here in a minute it'll explain a little bit more about it. You already seen where he said his son was legally kidnapped. Legally kidnapped, and it'll get into it. He will discuss this. Then there'll be a part 1 and part 2 that's already out on his TikTok and Instagram, where he discussed during this 2-year relationship how there were previous Asian women. Okay, but this is after his wife could not have kids. So he did the same thing, and he hooked up with a Vietnamese woman that he had his baby. And that's what he wanted to hook up with her for. And he keeps mama around. Yeah, he needs somebody to take care of the baby. And she took the baby and went back to Vietnam. So all this will be explained. So not all passport bros are the same. No, this is just one that's old and old. Like he's been doing this because, again, his wife is Filipina. Although she was born in the United States, she is still just, he's been doing this for a while. He says he's been dating and traveling to see women for, but anyways, yeah. So that's what he's talking about.
And I was very sad and very depressed by all this, naturally. And I saw many lawyers and I saw many doctors. And they all said, there's really not much we can do to get your son back. If it's in your power, you gotta move on. You gotta let him go and move on. So that's exactly what I did. Now, a lot of people might say that that's heartless, but what's worse, sitting around depressed and miserable because I got screwed over by family court and a crazy lady who kidnapped our child?
Okay, I have to say something because he is gonna keep using this word. I don't think, first off, kidnapping is an illegal act. If said child was legally kidnapped, then therefore it's not kidnapping. Just saying.
No, but he wasn't married to her. But here in a minute, he'll say what's going on. She was still married. The Vietnamese woman was still married. So it'll discuss that on the birth certificate. And I'm just going to address Silver Raven. Have we had Silver Raven in the room before? Okay. He's not a passport bro. He's white. So he's a passport Joe. So, and it says she put his ass in the basement. No, he put himself in the basement. There's a lot going on and a lot to process. They've both got some major issues. They're still hiding from each other. And as of the other day, when we did the live stream, she said she was going back, but she's given a little bit more of an update. He's calmed down a little bit and he's saying it's not over, but he's going to let her leave. And he's going to have to reprocess all of her paperwork to bring her back because she plans to stay until the baby. She's pregnant, by the way, again. And so if she goes back more than 6 months, they have to reprocess the paperwork and go through everything all over again. Because he said that, because at that point, you can't travel back till after the baby. So, but, yeah.
No, I wasn't going to sit around. I went online and decided I was going to not give up, that I deserved to be a dad. And I thought that there would be a...
Boom. Right there it is. I decided not to give up and lay down and just be depressed over my son being kidnapped and taken from me. Remember, he left his wife because she couldn't have any kids. And allegedly, that's the only thing. He's still stuck to her like glue right now. And I love my ex-wife. And he goes through all this. You'll see this here in a little bit. So stick around for that. But here he flat out admits that he moved on and got on a dating site based on having more kids.
Now, to reinforce what Heidi says, a normal person would say, well, she took my son away and she broke my heart, but I'm gonna move forward, and I would believe I would, one day love again and maybe
And
have a
might have
child.
kids. No, not this guy.
Correct. This is backwards.
Not this
This is
guy.
backwards. This is not normal behavior. This is backwards. This is like, I'm gonna have a child again.
No, and he told her that, and he does reiterate this.
That's important because, again, remember, it should always be love first, then the offspring of love, not boom, children, and then guess what?
And
I'm gonna love you anyway.
I want to let you know that there's a 30 age gap, which means these kids will be lucky if he makes it. They won't graduate before. In other words, it's another passport bro that's going to leave. Well, I almost said demon semen behind, but leave kids behind that they're not going to be able to raise. That was a whole thing on Mark Thornton that a lot of people were like, he told her no, he was responsible about it, but then he let her have, what she wanted, and here it is. He discussed his own demise and everything, but this guy is the opposite.
No, it's the opposite.
He's claiming he left his wife, which he never left her, to go off and then have kids. And he brought her home. As a matter of fact, this one and the other one, the ex-wife picked him up from the airport.
Right.
Oh, hell no. So,
yeah. Now remember, guys, there's nothing wrong with having crotch fruit, but you have to have love.
Gotta have a lot more than that. Crotch fruit and demon semen.
All right.
Really find women out there who would make a great mom and a great partner. Nothing wrong with having those goals. You start with those goals, and then you.
Okay, I'm doing this because, again, there's a little off again, or a lot off. First off, he starts with a child. Okay,
I'm numb.
If you're okay, guys, think about it this way, or girls, you go on a first date. This guy, I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee you, this guy starts talking about having a child before anything else. Next, after that, guess what? What's the next word out of his mouth? Mom goes first before partner.
Yep. Also, I want to let you know that I'm going to touch on some personal stuff with me and George, because here's the thing. We kind of went through some of this ourselves. In other words, George had a business of 10 years with his wife, and she was involved when we met, and there was a limit. I mean, and I didn't tolerate much limit. Like, if I thought they were in the office too long, it was for good reasons, because his wife had issues. So even she could not be trusted at some point.
Right.
A cheater is a cheater is a cheater. So it's and then in the end, we did find there were some faults with her, that she wasn't being up and up with you. So it's the whole thing is running a business with your ex-wife and continuing a relationship. It's okay when you have kids, or if it can be straight up and up. But when there's already some broken issues, there's other things going on. So we kind of have a feeling about knowing about exes and businesses and all that. This goes, I mean, even George was like, there's nothing wrong with that. We kind of did that. And then today it just dropped, like it was a total drop in our stomachs. And we're like, no, they never stopped loving each other. They never did. She lives next door and they own properties together. And, oh God, guys, there's a bunch to this.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah. And just real quick again, before I hit play, guys, listen to this. And I'm going to tell you right now, all women knows this whenever they go on dates. These are major red flags. Usually women run when they hear this kind of talk.
And we're not talking about like where, like, I think we were on our second or third date and I made a joke. I mean, and I did. I think I did.
That's different.
That's
different having kids.
I think we're, I said, I think I
Let's
we're
talk
gonna
about
be married.
kids. No. No.
Joking was joking while we were bowling, and I was like, "That's all right. Someday you're going to be my husband." That's one thing. Or me being high anxiety, or calling him a few times during work, or showing some flags like that. But when you get something like this from the jump street, she knew she was broke. She knew she had money, and at some point, he will keep discussing how she was in poverty. And I disagree to agree. I would probably say their family's middle class Filipinos. And she even admits that they had some money. But to an average American, if they seen where she would live, they would be like, wow, do they have any money at all? But you guys got to understand the infrastructure, or those that haven't been here, and where the levels of money are. Because right now, 63% of Filipinos now consider themselves in some sort of poverty, and that they're broke. And when they mean that, they really mean that. Like they're eating
Well,
ramen noodles, broke.
broke and poverty are two different things. Just saying. There's a lot of
Well, they say
Americans.
poverty, George.
I get
They're
it,
just
I
saying
get
that's where
it,
they
but
felt.
what-
So we've been telling people that only X amount of the country has money. He's seen her as that, but I believe she's one of those semi upper crust people. But if she was upper crust, as she said, there are professional passport brothers and other people that have been studying this stuff forever that would say they usually date their own kind. They
Okay.
date Asians. It's so why did she, if she really wasn't looking for that Louis Vuitton
Well,
bag, why did she go with this old
Listen to her
crusty dude?
talk. That'll tell you where she's at. Honestly,
All right,
I'll tell you
old
that right
crusty
now.
dude and eyebrow or legs McGee eyebrows. Let's see what's really going on. Old crusty dude.
Work on the relationship, then you work on compatibility. And
Yeah,
I think
see,
it
there
was
it
great.
is.
I
We'll
think that-
work on compatibility.
Again, backwards, guys. Backwards.
He already had a Filipino
This
at
is
home.
backwards.
He already had a Filipino at
Major
home.
red flags. This guy's working backwards. It starts with a child, starts with next his mother, next his partner, now compatibility.
And she's
Anybody
just-
on earth will agree, like, wait, you should work on, chemistry, aka compatibility first.
This girl ain't got no, what do you call that? A lot of people see a girl like this and they're like, oh, I'm sure she's got all the confidence. She's skinny. I wouldn't say she's supermodel material except for her being, in other words, she's not a dime piece like the others would say. She's just an average Filipina. Yeah, she's skinny, but that doesn't make her confident, doesn't make anything right.
Well, I wouldn't say average. She's, vertically above average.
Okay, so I kind of lost where I was going on this one. But she didn't have the confidence or whatever. Why would you agree knowing all of this? He's still in cahoots and in love with his wife, left his wife over a kid, knew that he only basically wanted a kid, knew there was a runaway kid, and that he could have, the rumor is it's more than one kid that he has in Asia.
Well, in all fairness, we don't know how much. Okay, first off, I don't trust this guy. No offense to you, guy.
Your hand. I keep not talking.
Yeah, no offense to you, but yes, I know his name.
Old crusty dude.
Now, what I'm saying is the fact that he tried to present that they were sitting there and having, lunch together, like it's their first time. That tells me this guy's deceptive. Just saying.
8 months down the road, yeah.
Correct.
He wanted to be
the girl's
there,
already pregnant. I mean,
and he only showed up for their second date when she was 8 months pregnant.
dude, this is deception. This is something like,
It's the surrogacy.
there's a lot of things that are off.
Someone
And-
said they needed a tax
And again,
credit.
this is also another guy that says, well, let's start with the child, then work on the mom, and then work on the compatibility.
He's about ready to turn 60.
What I'm saying is, be careful. At this point, if I were the girl, I'd be horrified.
She's not, though. The only thing that she's realizing now is that she should have been more independent, had a
she's
job.
probably naive. There's a difference between.
Yeah, we got
She's
a lot to
probably
process.
naive,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's process a
was
little
luck.
bit more.
But Jan and I met on OkCupid on February
That's where I
19th
met
for
George.
me, 20th for her, 2020. And we really hit it off. I was very honest in the beginning about where I was in life, what had happened, and what I wanted. I was very clear that I wasn't just looking for another young Asian lady to fulfill my baby daddy
Another.
wishes. But I
Another
understood the
one.
risks and I understood how serious it was. Was she down?
Oh man, the key
Okay.
word was that.
Now, I'd hate to say this. When he says, okay, I'd hate to say this, but
That's for all you that say I cut him off.
when he says, I've been honest, I've been honest, this. Okay.
And another one.
Is it possible he wasn't lying to her? Correct.
Oh.
However,
That's the worst.
okay.
That's the worst kind.
Oh, because Heidi knows about this. Because Heidi knows I don't lie. However, I do omit.
And here's the thing, I overshare and tell everything. It's like I tell things so much that everything is out there. And George, I was like, yeah. I said, I've been known to tell some white lies to cover up stuff. I said, but I tell too much. So we have this other thing. So this guy seems to be oversharing. So there went George, another whiz break. That's coming out of your money.
Was she down for it? And we had a long time to discuss it because right after we met, and I had bought some tickets to go to the Philippines to meet for the first time. What happened?
Pandemic. It's lockdown everywhere.
Pandemic hit.
Sucks being so healthy at age 60, but that's not why I'm here to talk. I want to talk just randomly without any script or any editing about dating foreign women.
Now, I want to let you know, okay, so that was just a clip. There was no more to that clip. It was just a random clip on his, I believe, Instagram. So now we're moving into the timeline of them going to Disney when the whole thing fell apart 2 or 3 weeks ago. It goes that her family came in town, other family got together. This was a Disney funeral, and his mother passed away. I just found out two years ago or something. So this was all a get together. So this is him explaining they're getting ready to go on the trip. Then we're going to show you a clip of the trip, which I have not seen out there till now. And in this clip, this is when I discovered, and nobody else was saying anything, his ex-wife is there. So listen to what he says. I found this clip after I found the other clip yesterday. I was like, George. And I was like, you're not going to believe this, but go ahead. Let it go. This is him.
Passporting, right? Because I've experienced in that too, vast experience. And I have a lot of advice for guys who are really done with dating American women. This is not throwing shade on American women at all. I was married for 23 years to an American woman. Great woman. I still love her. We are still good friends. We are still partners in business. She's still my office manager. She's a fantastic auntie and godmother to my children now. And I'm taking her with the whole...
No, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead and run this one through.
No, I thought...
Go ahead.
No, the godmother thing.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I totally missed that. George was talking about the sticker, because we like this cat sticker. It looks like one of our cats. Okay, so go ahead. The male, his wife, ex-wife, it's still his wife. Who are you kidding, man? He's a passport, sister, brother, sister, father, whatever, dude that he's got his ex-wife as the godmother.
Guys, would you have your ex be the godmother of your new wife's child?
And he calls them auntie.
Seriously.
She lives nearby.
Seriously.
They still run the business. She still runs his office. They still work on a daily basis. She's always there. She picks the wife up. And as a matter of fact, here in a little bit, you'll hear the wife actually talk about how she likes her.
Right.
She thinks of her as a mother, which just got creepier all the way around.
So there's a lot of inappropriates everywhere.
That is still pushing what he just said in almost exactly in his own words. He just admitted it's surrogacy. Now, is there anything really wrong with that? I believe they call that illegal trafficking in a sense. They brought her over just to have a baby. They just stopped a bunch of people at the airport over something basic. So if he met her online like that, they agreed, or he got her to agree to have a kid, and he was going to marry her, let her on with gifts, and got her over there just to have a kid. And now all of this, is it considered, illegal trafficking and stuff? Bring her from another country to carry his baby. It was just done on another shadier level. But probably no more shader than me and you talking 2 years ago that we would just bring in somebody and as a housekeeper and, you know, have 7 or 8 kids with her and we'd go off and get a farm together and sister wife it up. I guess, something similar. That's what you said. Oh, wait a minute. That's what I said.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. I don't know. Is anybody in the room right now would agree to have their ex, their current spouse's ex to be the godmother or godfather of their child?
Auntie too. They call her aunt.
Yeah, isn't that kind of weird and messed up? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
And
I
the new
doubt it.
wife calls her that it's like a mother. It's the one person she's had. But remember, I just found out today she's Filipino. So it just gets.
Kabayan, keep it in the country.
Yep,
All right.
and she'll appear in the clip here in a minute.
Family to Disney World this Christmas, along with my mother and father-in-law, my current mother and father-in-law. My former wife's mom and dad passed away a couple years ago. But I'm carrying on with family. You can see my other TikToks. Day 5, and we are loading up to go to Orlando in Disney World. Starting off the day with this cool mist.
Now this does show
and
his
full
house.
moon,
It is pretty good.
and everybody
size.
is up and
It's
getting
like
ready
a
to
wolf
go.
or something,
And this is my dear sweet Aunt Carol, who's gotten up to see us off. Sorry. I'll
where's
cut
the
that
leg?
part.
Just cut that part, please.
And
Where's the
Rocky
brown leg?
is
Okay, there's the
dressed up as a
mother-in-law.
princess already. Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning, Maganda. Pretty.
pretty princess. So heavy, Rocky, so heavy.
Grandma is in charge of the special transportation of the princess.
Hold up a second. I want to also let you know he called his son Rocky too. And now the daughter's called Rocky too. I just want to let you know that. The other child, the word Rocky was written, so he named both kids Rocky. Just want to let you know, but their daughter's name is Rocky.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can name as many
There's some people
Rockies
joke.
as they want. I mean, how many Rockies are there now? Like Rocky 7 or something?
I'd have slapped the lips off your face. I'm telling you, half of this, if this was you, you might as well plan for your funeral right now because there's no way. That's when the Americanized part of me would have stepped out. There's no way. I barely tolerated what was going on right in front of my eyes. I remember one time, and I'll get to this part about George trying to close the office door one time, and I'm like, oh, hold up. I said, there's employees out there. What was the reason of shutting the door when you had employees sitting there? Private conversations? Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Actually,
but
no, the office does have an AC in it.
it also has a lock on the door, too.
Okay. Yeah, because usually when employees, you need to talk to an employee, you need to lock the door.
Okay, anyways, I'm not going to get into it
Anyway.
today on this, but the whole thing is that there's a lot going on.
Harry Potter will be coming down in a minute.
Could not adopt due to her age.
We are locked and
Possible, very well
loaded.
possible. They're in their
Oh my
mid-
God.
There's
Papa
Dad.
is in charge of all loading and the first leg of
One snack
navigating.
at a time. That'll get it done. Filipino time.
Jan has did everything to get the kids ready this morning,
Gets
pre-dressed,
done.
packing the whole family.
I need milk
And what?
hide it from them.
She's gonna go in
and she's
there
gonna
and
stash
nurse
some milk so it's ready to go once they
Maybe
wake
she
up
can
on
get
the
them out of her
road.
legs.
Can
She's gonna go milk her
video for 1
legs.
second? I can cut this
Oh,
part.
stop that. Hold the phone. There is the ex-wife creeping around, always there. She's always there. Okay? And when I seen this woman, I thought Mel, when he said that before I knew it was his wife, I thought it was the sister or maybe an aunt or like her mother. I thought it was part of the family that came from the Philippines until I heard him say that. Do you mind if I put you on camera, Mel?
Okay, now here's the problem. And a lot of you will agree with me on this one. If there's one thing, any particular reason that an ex should be involved is because of the kids. Do they have kids together?
They do now.
No.
Oh,
Let me repeat it.
the
Does
ones in his
Mel and him
The
have
one-
any kids together?
the ones in his sack that he released.
Point being, his answer is no.
Uh,
So therefore, is there any reason why this woman should be involved with this man.
Hold up, but here in a minute, go ahead to hit play. She's going on that vacation with him. So there was a video recently we just seen where he says, all of you, why are you going to drag my ex-wife into this? It's on TikTok, guys. Chad2Dad, old dude, crusty man, is on TikTok, right? And he goes, why are y'all going to try to bring my ex-wife into it? Yes, she paid for the trip and set up the arrangements or whatever, and I'm repaying her back $800. But look at this crap. She went on the vacation with him. What is he talking about trying to drag my ex-wife into it? What the heck? She went on the vacation with him. Oh, hell to the no. No.
Mel has put everything she's got for this trip into one bag. Yeah, I allowed everyone only one bag per family. And I'm sticking to the rule, and even my family, 4 people, we're down to one gigantic bag.
She went with him.
My Filipino wife has been Americanized. My Americanized Filipino wife. That seems to be triggering a lot of people. Let me explain what I mean.
This was 2 days ago.
In America, if a wife, even a girlfriend, is not happy in the relationship, all she has to say to the world on social media, and especially to the government, I'm not happy. And if she drops the word abused or anything along those lines, the American system steps in. It steps in to protect her against any allegations that she makes.
This is the explanation that he had from the 14 days ago, him saying, it only took my wife 2 years to leave me. She's Americanized. Now that he's getting the beating from the women and men, because his wife's about ready to drop a bomb by saying that I should have done what the other women do situation. Yeah, it's called life. You don't think I didn't work alongside my other husbands, cook, clean, a little sucky, and did all this? Because she was trying to praise herself for why there was a mess on her stove, and she cooked some food. And he's like, oh, carry on. You did that holding a baby. Put the freaking baby down and cook the food and put him in a playpen and then pick him back up. You didn't have to coddle him while you were cooking at the same time like she's some like super trophy or something. The whole point is all of us women go through it. Women are women all over the world. Yeah, some of them have more attitude than other. Yes, we're a little bit more independent in some countries, but I think she's realizing that now. You have to be what you are to some extent. But now he's trying to backpedal as of 2 days ago and say that it's based on the legalization system is why she's acting Americanized, because she's talking about leaving. But that's not. So now he's trying to say, oh, it's not because she's greedy like the other women and American women just want all this expensive stuff and all that. What'd you do? You did quite the opposite. You just gave it to her, but you withdrew everything from her. You know, like I was telling you the other day, oh, here's $20 for pizza. I'm going to sit on the counter. See you later. Thanks, Dad. You know, no, that's what's busting their marriage up. Yeah.
And the man's side of the story is, it's all assumed. I'm an evil, controlling, patriarchal, oppressive white dude.
Okay, he is patriarchal, regardless of what he thinks. No, he is, because again, the facts, it's all in the it's in the pudding. Like I said, patriarchal. Why is it patriarchal? First off, you guys pay attention. He always
patriarchal.
He always says son. Only one time he mentioned daughter.
Oh, he already said that his daughter was for having a grandson that will actually carry on his name and all that.
So first off, he always says son by default. Second, again, the child always goes first before the relationship. That much is already proven. There's everything else. I mean, trust me, everything he says he's not, he kind of proves himself. I actually don't even have to say anything, to be honest with you.
And I've already said this. A lot of people like, oh, this guy wouldn't date you anyways, Heidi, because you're fat. Or this guy wouldn't date you because you got a loud mouth. Or this guy wouldn't date you because of the type of things and this and that. And what I've always said, and George has even said it, this guy can't handle a real woman.
No,
Period.
no, I'm going to tell you that right now. No. because he's
I'm
looking for the meek type so he can control them. Because
mhm.
it's kind of like a bully system. Most bullies won't pick on real guys because
he'd have had to sleep with one eye open if I thought I'd had to ask for money. If he wasn't offering me that, then that would have been a problem, and I wouldn't have stayed with him even if I was 800 pounds. I know my worth, and that's my problem. No matter whether I was small or big, I still know who I am, and I can do all the above this woman can, and then times 10. And I got experience behind it. And the same with George. He wouldn't have stayed with me if I couldn't cook and clean and I was weak. And he likes that fact. And I like George for other things. You have to balance yourself out, but there was no balance in this relationship. And you got the ex wife around.
no, it's lopsided. Yes, definitely.
So he knows there's not one damn American woman that would have dealt with that.
Correct.
There's no way. I don't
Correct.
care what, you know, I'd have just had to been his hope.
The
That'd have
fact
been
that
it.
he uses again certain words like Americanized tells you he's afraid of American women.
And I'm going to let you know there's a clip coming up of her just 12 hours ago. She's feeding off of this too. Because right above her, she puts, I'm an Americanized wife. And it's not to get back at him. She's now just using it for her social media. And that was bad. My arm just popped again. My arm. I had a slip and fall 2 months ago. How long's that been? The arm is still popping out of place. So, anyways, yeah. So no, there's just no way. And that's just the truth, guys.
And the narrative quickly, instantly becomes me bad, she victim. So the fight that we're having, that's still there.
That is exactly what's
That's always going to hang over
me
my
bad,
head. I'm a passport
she
bro.
victim.
I brought her here. I married
She
her. I
bad.
signed all the government forms saying that I will support her for a minimum of 10 or 1,000 years. I don't know. And we even know what I signed. And all you dudes out there who have been through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Americanized means weaponization of the male-female relationship to benefit the female, because family court is not a judicial system, it's a corporation. For profit, digging into the pockets of dads.
It's your demon semen. God's sake, grow a pair, man. Grow a freaking pair. What you talking about? You specifically, including the woman from Vietnam, did all this, and now you're all disturbed that somebody's going to take. Just like somebody just said in here, it's all about the adoption and stuff.
Okay, now
They couldn't adopt, and he wanted kids, and this was about bringing children that they both wanted around, somebody to carry on his name. They were running a business, and they wanted the whole dream, because it shows them playing and stuff, like them with sports cars and them with money, and they had everything but the kids. And this is a lot of things. They've gotten so desperate, not these, but the people in the world, like I said, they're exporting pregnant Filipinas. And just recently they caught a bunch of them and they just brought them back. I was saying it's 3 or 4 of them. Now they actually had the nerve to say they're going to make them put the kids up for adoption. They're like, we don't know what we're going to do with the kids now, but they can't stay and they can't go. And yeah, they've been paid. And it's like, isn't that the other people's kids? So if it's somebody's, seed from America or Germany, how does all that work legally when they're all sent back to the US and, oh man, or back to the Philippines? Who knows? That's a hot mess. But this guy went a long way around it, and he's using social media to fight it out. Now everybody's really seeing the whole story.
right now, also the problem I have is I get it. He's had some run-ins with the law when it comes to um child custody and all that. He uses words like, "Oh, the judicial system is a business," yada yada. Not really. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and it's not a real big secret, really, that when it comes to the judicial system, it sides more on the matriarchy side than the patriarchy side, meaning they'll always side with the female
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Now, meaning I'm not gonna go deep into it, but bottom line, they will always side with the woman first, and then do their investigations, and then they'll be like, okay, no, this is the real situation.
Yeah.
Now, this guy
You're not going to mention your own experience. I mean, I was going to have you mute to say that, but you've had your own experience in the
Yeah,
system. So
because
just to say, people know you had
again,
kids.
again, it's not a. I didn't really want to talk about me because it's not about me. The point being, if a woman accuses you of something, regardless of what it is, they'll always take her side, and then do an investigation. And then they say, "Oh, she's lying. Never mind. Bye." Point being, they will always take the matriarchal side. Again, I'm not bitter or anything like that because honestly, it's just
No, bitter is
fact.
me being woke up at 3
It's
in the
just fact.
morning with one of your ex-employees that was Japanese stating to come get her kid.
Which is
Your
kind of
kid.
sus, but that's nothing to do with this thing.
Well, no, that's bitter.
It's
It
not,
was kind of
It's
weird.
not my fault.
It's still about
babe,
kids.
it's not my fault that again single women are attracted to me. It's not the other way around. I'm not attracted to single women. They're attracted to me. But
We were like in a raw moment of our relationship, and it was kind of strange. I still think it's
No,
your
I get
kid,
it, I get
but
it.
to
No.
this day, that I'm sure that was your kid.
But like I said, I understand that he feels that way.
I think
But
this is just being played
but
out
the
for social
the way
media.
he's saying it in such a as a matter of factly manner that he seems credible, but he's not, because that's not how the American judicial system works.
I told you this is all backpedaling because he was just trying to say that his wife's Americanized. I don't think when he was saying it at the time that that's what he was really meaning. My wife's taking my kids and leaving me, and I just paid for all this and I just did that. I don't think at that point he whatever. But then, of course, after that, New Year's, he announced she's pregnant. She is 8 weeks pregnant right now. So she's on to her third kid. So it looks like during that, anyway, so
Right.
let's get through this.
Men, because yeah, we're in a patriarchal system and men still have most of the money. Now that's exactly what's true in our relationship. She doesn't have any money.
Yeah. So
This guy.
Well, it didn't take long.
all right, so I just want to let you know this is his original statement weeks ago. This is his wife's reaction 2 days ago. So this is after the fact and after the videos we had. This is like, I think, came out that night or something. So she's about ready to respond. George has definitely not seen this clip. She speaks Tagalog in this towards the end, but she's going to break down what's really going on, including with the wife. And then there's another statement from her after this that is about 12 hours. It's probably less than 12 hours ago. And so there it is. Yeah.
It only took 2 years, literally to the day, December 27th, for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized.
I think the word Americanized has nothing to do with someone who is disrespectful, especially to your people. Let's say that your closest people. It's because he disrespected my parents.
Okay, now just real quick, guys. Again, I get it. Everybody has some racial bias, and that's AKA,
I'm a racist all the way through.
But
I'm gonna call a spade real quick.
my point being, I don't care what you think you are. If you don't think you are racially biased, well, the moment you use the word "your people," their kind, that's racial biasness. That is not right. That's you again being
my middle
some
name is George Carlin.
atheist. You know what I'm saying? No, do not use the words "you people," "your kind."
I know, but what is the whole problem if people? I mean, I get it's not like you don't want to be super woke on stuff either. I mean, I guess you have to know when it's a joke. Like when I say them's your people right there that are running us off the road.
Jokes are one thing, but I'm sure that she's not talking about jokes here because I'm pretty sure this is some serious stuff.
You see that face right there? That looked like your face last night, right in the middle of you know what.
That's my old face right there.
That's his. That's just, it is. That's what George looks like. That is so, and he knows that. He knows that I know that's that look.
I'm joking, guys. That's not my old face. But it's a lot worse.
It is. You can get some tongue action going.
All right, here we go.
I know you. By the way, that's on that's on membership too. We got a few of those videos for you.
Forget membership. Just go to
We have the one.
GeorgeOnlyFans.com.
Hey,
Yes, just
I think the clip.
subscribe for the platinum
Remember
tier.
Remember a couple years ago when we did that, where you were rubbing my feet and pretending to be a Chinese masseuse?
Oh, that one, yeah.
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
said that it was fans only or whatever when it starts up. It was hilarious. So, anyways, good times, good times. All right, guys, let's. Oh, jeez.
That could be her old
He goes,
face,
that
just
is a
saying.
bad look there.
That's
No,
her old face
what
right
I'm
there.
saying, that's her. When you play this, you do see that. By the way, this
She looks like Mikey Bustos.
She does. I haven't watched the guy too much, but I've seen the guy. I was telling George this morning, Legions of Men. We've watched him go from 30,000 on up to 500,000 people right now. He mostly talks about passport bros. He then puts them down, he lifts them up, and he just goes where the wind goes. But he did at one time praise the Filipina P for standing up against American women. But now he's responded to the original video of this all going down. And basically, he said what we already knew. The passport bro movement and guys coming over here and getting women is really thinning out. And so it's not thinning out. There's tons of them is what's going on. There's too much competition. I think Sunshine Shoulders has been saying that. And the guys are getting over here and they're getting desperate. So you got younger men, better looking men, men with more money. And it's so flooded that it's kind of like, it's like, it's not slim pickings, but it is. And that's how these guys are ending up with, the girls are ending up with bad guys, that they're the bottom of the chain, that the girls are the bottom of the chain. And he was talking about making reference to dime pieces. And his word was that she's not. And if she had the money, she'd have went on with a Filipino. And there was something else going on. So in talking about the passport bro movement and stuff, it's changed. And these guys are being given all this. I'm not talking on my own situation. That these guys are still coming over here with misconceptions that it's just easy to swipe up these women and that they've got all these chances in the world. And so much has changed in the last couple of years. Definitely changed post-pandemic.
Right. And before I continue playing
this is not a
this
dime
clip,
piece.
I'm just gonna let you guys know again, and girls,
They're
she
thirsty.
is not without fault. Okay, I'm going to let you know right now. Again, regardless of all these clips, we don't know the whole situation. However, I can tell you right now, even if I don't know the whole story, she is not without fault.
Thaddeus. Thaddeus said, "Save the pogo babies."
Yes,
For
I saw
Christ's
that.
sake, right? Because that is true. They're tossing 30 or 40,000 out. They're not going to renew their visas. Isn't that weird how they let them in as like, no, get out. We needed you. It was nice that you were here. That's kind of like the Filipinos they send all over the world. It's like the hospitals need them, and then it's like, you got to go.
Yeah. So again, like I said,
Save the pogo babies. That might be a good T-shirt.
Yeah, and she is not without fault, but not by any means. However, again, let's listen to her side.
Mikey Booster looks great. What are you talking about, George?
Oh, dang!
No,
Dang.
I'm sorry. You guys, every time I say something like the Filipina P and all this, and you guys are like, oh, it's because you fat Heidi, and it's because you can't this, and you jealous of the money, and you, hell nah. I represent all corners.
Equal opportunity offenders.
Crispy bacon. I represent the sucky. I represent the cookie, soy. I do the whole 9 yards just like the rest of them, except you got something to hold on to. And I got your man.
What?
Yeah. Come up, Filipino man.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little easier to get this undime piece. This is a nickel going on here.
Oh, damn. Bobby G says she's a butterface for sure. For sure.
Hey, I'm just calling it like it is. So the whole point is that there's a lot more guys coming over. I mean, George, when we met, had the pick of people. I'm not as bad as you guys think. You did.
Bobby G, I'm just saying, take it from behind. Take it from behind.
What you talking about?
Mm-hmm. She's got a lot of good amount of hair, just saying.
Anyway.
Right.
I'm gonna start watching that Legion or whatever.
Right.
All right.
Screaming, snatching some things verbally and physically. So
There it is.
what I am thinking that time, you are freely disrespecting me and abusing me. I think that's enough. You can do it. You can do it 24/7 to me. You can do it anytime. But to the point that you're going to be disrespecting my people, especially my parents. I
My
think
people, hold on.
that's what
This is what made her actually decide to leave him. Got the wife living nearby, won't give me no pizza money. First time that bitch didn't give me no pizza money, I'd have slapped that demon semen right in his face, right out of my mouth.
Okay. Well,
And I'm gonna let you know right now that that's what broke her.
I'm glad you caught that one.
Because
now, the reason
hell
why this
no.
is significant, and some of you are like, okay, what's so significant about that? It means she has a low self-esteem. According to her,
Right, Lou?
according to her mindset, she
Good morning, Lou.
deserves that. She will not say that literally.
Lumba.
Oh, I deserve. No, in the back of her mind, she deserved that kind of treatment. So therefore, she puts up with it. However, she does put her parents in a higher self-esteem and a higher esteem that she says, yeah, you crossed the line.
I think she used that as the breaking point because I think her dad would have slapped his lips off too. So what I'm saying is this was her opportunity. This was her opportunity to break from Mister.
Well,
I like the
you have to
color
remember
purple.
too that
This
the parents
this my
probably
chance.
also told her, like, listen, daughter, we love you. You don't have to put up with this. Just come back home.
Oh yeah, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure they said, what's wrong with this guy? We didn't do nothing to him.
Yeah, so this is her after the fact and the footage.
draw the line. I think that's when the time that I said, I want to separate. It's not because I wanted to separate just because I wanted it. It's I've dealt a lot with him for the last 2 years that I am here.
We got back from Orlando to St. Simons, Georgia. I was greeted with the announcement from JM that she wanted a separation.
For the last 2 years, I am standing up for myself. I know it's really difficult because I have children, and I honestly doesn't want
He has
to
children.
separate with him. It's just came out to my mouth that I'm so fed up. I'm so done. It's because I'm so hurt and he's not going to change. There's no way that he will change.
Okay, no offense to this girl, but how many kids does it take for you to realize that?
Obviously, she's
2.5?
servicing. I guess
2.5 kids, I guess.
he probably didn't buy any contraceptive if he was barely paying for her Starbucks. I'd have pawned that damn purse and took shit out of his house. You know I would have. If you'd have told me no, what would the American woman, talk about Americanized, I'd have pawned your shit. Difference is some Filipino that's all meek. Now, there's some wicked women out there. I said women are women and peoples is people. Dating is dating. Americanized me, whatever you want. But if you'd have pulled that crap, I'd have pawned your PS9.
Right?
Jeez.
All I know is if I didn't stop or I didn't make a move, it's going to be a normal. He's going to disrespect me. He's going to disrespect my people. He's going to disrespect anyone. So this is just me that, putting some boundaries.
Hate everything about me and what I provide and decide to leave.
He claims that I hated what he provides. As far as I remember, I'm always grateful for him. I'm always vocal, thanking him for my life right now. You can see my social media. I never criticizes him. It's always praising, even though there's something going on inside our house. I will never speak or talk about our fights on my social media. It's because I am protecting him and I'm protecting my children.
She has done nothing but put her life out there. The kids are always on there. She lets him degrade her all the time. He had her come in these boy shorts rolled up the crack of her butt and her shirt tucked in or a half crop shirt. And he always is sexualizing her. She's done it to herself. Like she's in a dress that's skimpy and high heels. I'm representing the Philippines, walking around all those fancy Lamborghinis, walking around with the handbags and all that. So she's been living that life in front, and she does use the kids. They're always in the scenes. So here in a minute, she's going to mention that she knows that she doesn't want her kids to see all of this break out. and she doesn't want him to see any of this, but here she is still.
Yeah. Now, also keep in mind, before we get to hit the poverty part, pay attention to, since we're on her right now.
Mhm.
Did you guys notice her English is actually really good?
Yeah.
It's on point.
Yeah.
What I'm getting, she actually speaks a lot
Yeah.
better than a lot of vloggers that I know here in the Philippines. Just saying.
Yeah, she didn't grow up in poverty, like she said.
Correct.
She'll mention that here in a
Now,
minute.
some of you, the ones that will argue with me, that says, "Oh, well, she's been in America for 2 years." Really? Why don't you move in the Philippines for 2 years and see if you can speak Tagalog? You can't, because it's not something you learn within 2 years or even 30 years.
I do. Magabugu, Bugubayan Take.
Thank you for proving my point, babe. All right. So that's what I'm saying. This
Boogie
is somebody
boogie
who's actually
tickle.
educated, and you're like, okay, so guess what? If you're educated, that means did not come from the dirt poor family.
So, please tell me why, beings you know that 99% hook up with their own culture, and it would have been brought through the
Nobody
family.
ever said that, the American dream is in everybody. Not everybody. Everybody
So she
in
had
the
her own
world that
agenda
has,
or no confidence, no self-confidence
well,
part
what
of
I'm
it.
saying
I
is
mean,
everybody has their own dreams. The American dream
was she
exists
looking?
in every culture somewhere with somebody. Not
All right,
necessarily me, not necessarily
but it
her, not
was
necessarily what I'm saying.
it was a different level because I seen their house. I think there'll be a clip coming up here in a minute, and it'll show where she lived.
Right,
It's
but what I'm
middle
saying is,
class. So what I'm saying
okay,
is it's a different level. That is a huge house. There's several cars. There's handbags. There's Maldives.
now
The whole point is there is a
she's
different level of money.
she's the extreme. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. Here's the American dream. Since we're talking about the American dream and why women date Americans, okay, keyword Americans, only because I'm not talking. I'm being specific here because the examples I know personally are specifically American. I know Filipinas that did marry Americans and they regret going to the U.S.
Mm.
Why? Okay, now these are the extremes. Well, or not really extreme, but I guess this one I'm going to about to tell you is average. She's the extreme. Her problem is she married an American that's actually really up there. However, he treats her and her family like crap.
I
Okay.
treat you like crap all the
Oh,
time.
that's a different story.
It's
That's a
me.
that's a
It's
different
Heidi.
vlog entirely. Now, next one is the one I'm about to tell you again that I personally know. She married an American.
Mhm.
Okay. She had kids with the American. She had a house here and everything, car and everything. And then she says, "Take me to America. Take me to America." And then the guy, the American, loves her so much that says, "Okay, I'll take you to America." And he did. And guess what? She regrets it like heck. Why? Because here in the Philippines, she had a car, she had her own house and lot. She had maids doing it for her. She didn't have to cook, clean. She had people doing everything for her. She moved to America. Guess what? All of that stopped because you know how it is in America. You have to work. So she had to work. She had to cook, clean. She had to commute. You know,
Yeah, and there's going to be what's going on here. There's a culture gap, there's an age gap, there's a different understanding. There could have been deception on both sides from the very beginning. She was really just looking for that dream, a little bit more money. It could have been he's wanting the kid. Everybody was fitting in. They were just tolerating the whole thing. And it was only a matter of time before this entire thing blew up. But he even had his own bad experience with the Vietnamese woman and other women and having his kids already. He's been trying this for a while. And he did say in other videos, I sat through the videos, the reason he chose the Filipinos in the end is they were very tolerable and very nice and very this. All I heard was I can control her or I can do this and that, and she won't get mad all the time. That type of situation, which still sounds like it's rare that you see a Filipino go off. Will they go off? Yes. That's usually in a crime of passion or like traffic issues or something else. It's not like me just popping off situation. But I did see real quick. I just want to say that what's his name? PH expat prepper says he disagrees that his wife was not with money and her English is good too. We're not saying that there's not. I mean, George
Okay.
didn't grow
Okay.
up
Keyword
in
here:
you were middle
poverty. So
class.
you're saying that your wife was in poverty? I mean, there's a difference.
Yeah,
You
so
don't have to go to public school. You don't have to be poor to go to public school. You don't have to be stricken in poverty to go to public school. Actually, a lot of Filipinos that are well-to-do or middle class send their kids to
my wife's
public
family's
school
not
for a lot
rich.
of
Public
reasons.
school, yeah.
You know,
Most speak English well. Most in his family are the ones that go to public school, because it just for me appears that all different demographics of Filipinos speak
now there
X amount
there
of
are
English.
exceptions
It's been
to the
hard.
rule, of course,
It's still
and
hard.
of course you have to. Well, anyway, either way, you don't have to be, you know, poor or in poverty, as this guy says, to go to public school. Just saying.
Okay,
It's kind of like in the U.S. You don't have to be.
well, here's the
You know
example.
how
You
many
were
rich
middle
people
class.
I know go to public
Yeah,
school?
but look at you.
In the U.S.
There's very rare that there are people like you here that speak this clear, and you were an adult when you left with a kid.
Right.
And you grew up, you weren't filthy rich. I still consider your family middle class in all areas.
Right.
You had a nanny, but I wouldn't say that you guys were dripping.
But
it's not that type of, but you're
I never said any of that. I'm saying
no.
she's not in poverty. There's a difference between in poverty
Yeah.
that you can't have access. Obviously, this girl had access to books, to internet, to everything.
Yes, and her yes. Yeah, he
And I
said
tell you right now, put it this way. Again, a lot of people don't have smartphones. I know this is hard to believe, but point being, a lot of tricycle drivers don't have smartphones. If tricycle drivers don't have smartphones, you think their kids have one?
uh
I'm just saying. Anyway.
yeah.
We have kids, the next 10, 20 years, there's going to be social media and they might see this. I think it's really selfish for him to post for views, for attention, for sympathy.
What? Hold up.
Unheard of.
Hold up.
That's
What you
unheard
talking
of.
about? You've been doing social media since you guys met. For the last 2 years, that's all it's been, is a whirlwind of look at my bump, look at my hump, look at my skinny legs, look at my eyebrows, look at me. Look at me. I'm a Filipino that's very modest, and I got myself a rich man. I mean, the whole thing has been about this passport bro, trophy wife. They both played the part. We've said this about several expat vlogging couples here. We've said it about David and Rose. There was that whole thing where he dressed her up all the time. They were fighting on air. Look at me. I've got myself a trophy woman. You ain't going to get her. All these couples do it. And now she's talking about he played it out on air. No, she's been playing it out. And she's about ready to say this new update with her's got even more information. But what do you think? No, they ain't playing. Shame on him. Shame on him.
Well, again, she's not without fault.
Shame on him.
There's a saying in the West, as they always say, you made your bed, go lay on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can go up here and talk to me and you will say to people that out of transparency, I will talk about it, but you are transparent to the public, but you are not transparent to me. Just for clarification too, half of that trip paid by his ex-wife, all of the park tickets, Universal and also Disney World, it was paid by his ex, and also the Airbnb and the grocery. I just wanted to...
Grocery, mind you.
So here's the thing. He did do a video like right after this where he said that, oh, now people want to drag my ex-wife into this. No, he meant eyebrows here. Okay. So did you hear him say that up here? They're talking to each other social media. Now I put George in the doghouse. I'm just going to let you know he's in the doghouse, okay? I don't put him upstairs or downstairs. Now he's been known to do, he's got his office upstairs with his gaming and his work that he does and all that. But if I got something to say, even though I don't like going up and down them stairs, I'm going to go up there and say something to him. I am not sending you a TikTok to say, You fish-eyed fool. What you talking about? I'm not. What's really going on? They can't even talk and you don't even like talking that much. George is a very private person, even with himself.
You
Situation.
don't even do that. I'd be upstairs on my third nuke, and then you unplug the router, so I lose the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do that to get your attention too, when I don't want to go up the stairs. But the whole point is
I'm
we
like, oh
communicate.
yeah, baby, oh yeah, third nuke, third.
Down, 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 down. No freaking way. And let me tell you what, it's like when we first met, it was like, oh, we couldn't like separate ourselves on the couch. Like we were like stuck at the hips, movies, everything. And then a year or two go by, and it's like, okay, I can live a few hours without him. I remember when I went on that trip with my sister to Ohio to see the other sister, and I was gone from George for 3 days. I thought I was going to pass out. I was always on the phone, and my sister said, "Put that damn phone down," right? And that's how it actually got to be. But now it's like I get it in the separation of, but I couldn't see it at this level where they're just not talking, and they're doing this all through social media. But this is what we've been saying the last year or so. It's so much on social media. It's just insane. But I don't know, it's kind of like the chat rooms, and I just seen that Bigo or whatever that they have in China. It's like TikTok, but it's all live.
Bigo,
stream.
Bigo, Bigo, Bigo.
You been on Bigo? The whole point is they're just chat rooms. They're like AOL chat rooms with cameras.
Yes.
It's just aimlessly
Bigo.
stupid. I've never seen so. I thought
It's not
TikTok.
stupid, it's entertaining.
Pretty much. I just heard somebody talking about their family. Oh, well, they won't do this. I mean, we're talking about there is no real content. And to me, I don't have time for that. I mean, it's okay, but I can't see it. And maybe it is for the young ones, but there's a bunch of older people in there too. Okay, I guess it is the way that people are going to be communicating. Soon, in another 5 years, people won't even leave their house situation.
Okay, for those of you who are wondering what Bigo is, Bigo is a lot like TikTok, except their chat room society
it's
says.
AOL with a camera.
And then
AOL chat
it
rooms.
matches you with people. You know how TikTok matches the ones
It's
that
an algorithm.
the algorithm.
If you guys are all cat people and it's in your tags and what
it
you
veers
like,
you towards cat
but
people.
it does it on
so
YouTube
if you
too.
keep
That's the
going
new...
into these chat rooms where these girls dance, they'll keep putting you on these chat rooms where the girls dance. You know, that kind of deal.
We were just discussing yesterday that people are getting that the
It's called
AI
Bigo
system.
Live. Download it now. There's a link below. Now, if you download it, I get $1.
I guess we should put that on. I just seen a vlogger today.
I'm joking.
That has everything. They got like TubeBuddy. They've got all the insurance. They've got every app that they can get something off of. Yeah, we might as well throw that in there too for you. But we were just saying that AI is dumbing people down dumb. I said in another 10 years, there won't be an intelligent person on this earth when these other people.
Well, the newer phones have AI built in already. So.
When the people
smarter than Siri, because Siri got dumb.
What generation are we now?
We are in. No,
What are we?
We're past beta, so it's going to be Charlie now.
I'm asking what we are. Gen
X.
what?
We're Gen X.
All right. So when Gen X is gone,
Generation X. Aerosmith.
I figure you got about 2 weeks left before something bad happens to you. I mean, take good care of yourself going up and down those stairs. But when Gen X is gone, and the previous ones, the ones that where liquor was illegal and they were making their own alcohol, what gen was that? Probably just Gen.
Oh, that's when
the ones making their own alcohol.
No, that's what do you call it? That's the baby boomers.
Okay, they were making their own alcohol. Whole point is when we are all gone, our grandkids and our kids are in big trouble right now. I'm gonna tell you that right now because AI is feeding them the stupidest answers, and most people are Googlers. Only X amount are reading books, and you guys are like, oh no, there's a lot of people still left. No, those are the people that are still reading books, and it's just going to get to a generation. So, anyways, I digress just like that guy did. But the whole point is that the world is falling apart with these chat rooms, and their whole lives are unfolding, and they're finding therapy on the internet. And I'm just, I hope there's a bunch more stories that come out, so I got more to jabber about.
I have therapy on the internet.
I'm sure you do, and good for that, because then you keep your hands off of me. and it gives my lips a rest.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I need more saran wrap for my keyboard. What? I have to protect the keyboard.
Hey, be nice. These are white microphones for a reason. I'm gonna spit my coffee on it, and then I had to spit on you.
Oh
Then there have been 2 brown things spitted on today. Hot doing.
Hop to
Ah. Hey, look, I got something white to hop to on.
right.
Next.
Let you know too that we have a really good relationship with the ex-wife. And to be honest with you, she's really nice to my kids and she's really nice to me. She's like my closest mother here in Hawaii. I can talk to her anytime.
She's really nice. I can talk to her. He never left her, guys. Let me reiterate. They never left. And never left. She lives right there. He built her a house, built her an office. They've been together 23 years. And before their divorce, he had already went with the Vietnamese woman, had a baby, was living with her, and got her off of a dating site. He got her off of a dating site. And it was all about kids. They worked together. They play together. She went on the vacation, picked her up at the airport, picked the other girl up at the airport. She does everything. And I told George, do you think they're knocking boots still?
Yes.
Do you guys think they're still knocking the boots, the ex?
Now.
Oh, we can't bring that up.
Just real quick again. I don't have a problem with exes. It's because exes exists, period. Okay. But the problem I have with this one is, one, they don't have children together. There is no real reason for them to be together. Second,
and they broke up only over the kids is a big red flag.
The other reason why I think it's more, I mean, some people are probably like, well, there's something wrong with exes. There isn't. But the reason why I say there's something more, you heard it from her herself, that she says that.
George.
What? That's my knife.
Right, it's cutting into my leg.
That's what knives are for.
Can you take it out?
That's what she said.
No,
all right.
So I was wondering what was cutting my leg because you're up against me like
what I'm saying.
Saran wrap for real.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, there's more to it, and the reason why do you say there's more to it? Because keep in mind, she is the one who paid for the Disney trip.
She went on the damn Disney trip.
Right. She paid for everything. Tickets and all, flight, transportation, including groceries. That tells you it's deeper. So, that being said, like Heidi said, I'm actually not one to judge. I'm really not. And
you lucky I shared that pasta salad with you this morning.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with exes. Again, there's nothing wrong with exes. But no, I do believe they are knocking boots.
We'll show you the picture of the ex. We did show it at the beginning. And she is way more attractive.
Okay, now, I don't think she's ugly. I mean, I know I said she looks like Mikey.
We'll bring up their website here.
She does. Now,
not the ex.
No. I'm talking about her. Right.
I'm sorry. This one right here.
Well, she's
not a dime piece.
But what I'm saying is,
she's a two.
I do agree that the ex is a lot more prettier than she is. Yes.
If you got that kind of money and that's what you're looking for in personality, I know everybody's got an answer for something.
Now keep in mind, beauty is in the eye of the beholder too, because a lot of people want that short, big nostril nose. Filipinos usually don't. Me.
But then again,
a lot of Filipinos aren't into short, big nostril noses.
It's not always based on looks, so I guess we do have to put it down to there. But
it's not based on looks, and that's why she got knocked up when the first time they went to Maldives.
Didn't need looks for that; just needed her from behind, like you said.
Yeah, and this is coming from a guy who talks about children first, mom second, and then compatibility. Not love, mind you, compatibility.
When she has face filter, makeup, and her ears covered, and she's in a sexy dress, she does present that. But it still puts her at a nickel piece.
Yeah, but what I'm saying again is from the guy. I'm just saying from the guy's point of view.
I mean, good thing we were just old and crusty.
This guy, AKA
we were just
Chad. I'm not going to mention his name, but
we were just old and crusty from the beginning, and with the lights off, it was like heaven in a whatever, and it helped that we had the vape too. You miss vape?
Yes.
Anyways, good times, good times.
And, she's really a good person. And I remember when we were in the mainland, she told us, my parents and me, and she said that this is my gift to you. You are wondering why my parents came over, because we supposedly go back to the Philippines for 3 months, just me and the kids. It's because I am really homesick. I've been here for 2 years. He promised me that we're going to go back to the Philippines at least once or twice a year, but that never happened. And so I kept on telling him that I need to go back. It's because we have activities, like my ate is going to get married, my big sister, and I am the maid of honor. And also I wanted to do some christening for the kids. And also I wanted to spend Christmas with my whole family. It's been 2 years since they haven't seen Grace and they haven't met Rocky, because I gave birth to Rocky here in Hawaii. And, it's just really a family thing. You need to go back, and it's just sad. It's because fast forward to the booking day, I already booked going back to the Philippines, and then that same day he canceled it too. It's because he said that I'm ungrateful. It's because I didn't say thank you right away. It's because at that time I got excited. It's because the ex-wife said that she's gonna come same day, the same exact day when he booked it, he canceled it right away. And I don't have any choice. It's because I don't have money. I don't have any control about
And I discovered through text that she had been discussing this with her family and making plans to also take the children.
All right. 1 second. Okay, I just want to let you know, this wasn't me that dug this deep. This is his wife that put this out. By the way, this is not me that did
No,
this
I
mix.
knew that. I mean,
Well, it appears like it's been mixed. I have the
no,
ability.
I
but
can tell it's her because
well, I mean, I'm not exactly the best
I mean, this
editor,
is
and we're not, but it
well, the
is.
style is. Well, I'm
She's
saying is,
responding.
she's the one- this is all her.
If not, this would have took a lot of editing.
This is all her.
So she's even put her own super personal information right there. That's a whole different account that she has on
Yeah, we
Facebook.
didn't pull this out. She's the one who published this herself.
Correct. So,
my ate, my big sister, is back in the Philippines. I contacted her about what's going on here. And then I told her that my mom is going to go back same date with my papa. And she needs to book for my ate. But that didn't happen. It's because they had to rebook the ticket for them to go back to the Philippines. It's earlier because my papa supposedly go back to the Philippines on January 5th. But that didn't happen. They went back home yesterday, December 30, and they arrived at December 31. You know what's really sad is that my parents are very excited, especially my papa. He thought that it's gonna be a great trip, but it's disaster. They came here just to be disrespected. They stress na, sobrang stress na mga mukha nila, alam mo yun. They're supposed to have a good time here, pero yung nakuha nila yung pambabastos. Sobrang sakit ng ulo ko kasi nakita ko yung mga mukha nila.
you want me to translate?
Go ahead.
She said he's a dirty, no good for nothing. And also she said with emphasis, how could he do this to me? All I did was open one leg and then just lay down, and I cook really well. But how could he treat my papa like this? But I'm a good person. And now I'm going to take these kids back to the Philippines. Okay, so next, let's roll it.
Okay. No, she said my head hurts from all of the rudeness.
Exactly. That's what she said the whole time.
Well, she said something, but you were talking. I can't translate
Well, I was
while you're
waiting for you
talking.
well,
Anyway.
okay. My translation was closer.
Nakita ko yung sakit, nakita ko talaga sa mga mukha nila na nasasaktan sila, pero
I saw the hurt. I could see in their faces they were hurt. She's talking about her parents,
Which is important, by the way.
She's
It
talking about her
doesn't matter.
parents.
Nobody's parents deserves that. I mean, I told George there's a lot of rude things that I've done since we've been together. But I told him if I'd have snatched those keys up out of his dad's hand, George said, first off, that would have never happened. My dad would have fought you. We probably been rolling like bears at that point. But I was like, yeah, I just can't see that. I mean, you shouldn't disrespect each other, but there comes a point where, like somebody said, when a woman goes off and hits a man, and then the man hits her back, it's like she put herself in that position. And I agree. If you walk up as a woman and you hit your guy, expect to get hit back. What you put in is what it should just be good old fashioned, whatever. There's a limit. All this new woke stuff is way out there, but there's full limits to
Yeah.
everything too.
Now, Peach Expat Pepper, real quick. She and her family also need to understand American culture and not be so sensitive. These two, if I'm not going to get past something this simple, or hiding issues, are just never going to make it. Now, keep in mind the it's not being sensitive. If somebody's gonna slow clap your parents just because they did something simple, you don't think that's rude?
I mean, did you see the whole thing, PH? I mean, I'd probably say go watch the other live stream.
Yeah, not today, not today.
And I actually think there's more in here where he broke down what he did.
Already?
I'm
What time
gonna,
is it?
I'm gonna go check. I would hope not.
There probably are.
Hope not.
No, they probably are.
Wow, babe. We said we're working. Hold on. AC people are here. Go figure that. AC is freezing up again. We're definitely going to have it frozen or it froze up again because of the weather change. Means the seals are leaking on the Freon, and they said they would come after 12:30. They knew we were doing this, and they showed up an hour.
What time was it scheduled?
I told him 12:30. It said 12:45 is the appointment I set. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, we need it done, but unfortunately, the AC unit, we have to break things down and move furniture just to have it done. So it's supposed to be done after the live. So anyways, the guy did a lot of different things, PH Expat Prepper, and it's just not one thing, it's multiple things. And then if you add in that he's got a wife around, how insensitive is that? An ex-wife? I get she's business. It should be at the office. I was telling you guys that I dealt with George's ex-wife, and it was really weird. It was really a situation. I mean, he was he was married to his ex for over 10 years. They ran the business for that long, and I get they were going to be together and everything, but there is a this is all just too much. I just don't think the wife is saying the whole thing. And then add in some of the things and the rudeness that he did. That's not the only behavior. If this is being displayed, there's a lot more going on. This was just her breaking point. So, yes, I would agree that Filipinos are sensitive. Okay, I deal with this all the time with George, Filipinos here, and I say all the time, I was like, people just need to chill. They're super sensitive, even here. But if it's there, they should understand, like you said, you want me to understand the culture when I'm here. It kind of should be that way there. But that's where the cultural gap and clashing happens. It still happens with me and George. But here's the thing, the longer George is returned back home, there are days where he actually has had it out with Filipinos over stuff. And I'm like, oh, thank God you finally did this, and that. Like we had an issue at the bank recently. 1 second.
They screwed up the schedule. Their next stop is the riot, which is really far.
All right, we're going to continue the live. It looks like at this point they're not leaving. They're claiming their next schedule is at a riot, and they're showing up an hour and a half early or more. And now they're out there arguing with him that the appointment was some other time, and it wasn't. I talked to them this morning. I set the appointment yesterday, and so we are going to have some disturbance as we continue this live. So, but anyways, I get it. There's a whole bunch of sensitivity going on. So 1 second again. Um, One second, guys. All right, so I'm going to continue this. So we're going to have workers in here.
Wala naman silang sinasabi, pero kinakita ng dalawang mga mata ko na alam niya walang ginawang masama yung mga magulang ko sa kanya, pero yung bigay niya sa mga magulang ko sobrang pambabastos.
My parents didn't do anything wrong.
They don't deserve what he did.
They don't deserve what he did. Like I said, I think it was just a breaking point.
Ang bastos talaga, promise. Hindi ko matanggap. Hindi ko talaga matanggap. Kaya sabi ko na makipaghiwalay na lang ako. Kasi nung kinausap ko siya, parang wala lang sa kanya. Parang sobrang sakit.
Disaster. They came here just
The 5 things that I did to disrespect my Filipino in-laws.
1 second. 1 second, guys. All right, guys, sorry about that again. So, kind of crazy.
I qualify Filipino because different cultures get disrespected in different ways. So don't come at me for being a racist. This is the context. Hi, Chad2Dad here.
This is him
Had a
explaining.
horrible
guys.
Disney World experience with my in-laws, and I'm just going to tell my side of it. Not my side of the story, but I'm going to say what I did to disrespect my Filipino mother and father, and as well as my sister. Number one, I did not eat the food that they cooked. Wasn't because I didn't like it, and it wasn't because I wasn't hungry. It's because I protested. I didn't eat the food that they cooked. And then number two, when they left the food out on the table, that stayed out all day. When we came back from one of the Disney World days, I called them slobs for leaving the food out. Number three, I clapped sarcastically when Mama finally stepped in and helped JN by bathing the kids after a long day. I clapped loud and long and sarcastically. Number four, I snatched the keys out of Papa's hands. He spent his morning loading the car up, getting ready to go back to Georgia, and he went to hand the keys to me, and I just snatched them out of his hand. Went down to start the car. And number five, I told Ate, fuck you too, when she said that I was being a bad host.
Now, I want to let you know, and I would agree, me and George have had this. It does go two sides for the expats and for the Filipinos and all mixed culture couples and all of that. Because I just seen where American and Panay said, I don't have these respect issues with my wife's family. I'm allowed to admit something isn't right, like hands not being washed or CR when cooking. I get mad about, which you should be able to. Like I told George, when we had the kids out there last year setting fires or leaning against the car, scratching it, there's limits, and we're expected to be quiet. That was one of my biggest frustrations when I got here, is just because I am in a country, I get the respect side, but it is a one universe situation too. I don't have to sit here and bow down. I don't have to. There's a limit to what's to be done. Okay, but there's more going on than just what he's saying and what she's saying. They always say one side, his side, he said, she said, third side, and then everybody's opinion going around. But even more is coming out. I really believe that the intention was for the kids and that she's just done. But I think in the back of her head, psychologically, she knew this was all going on, but that was her breaking point. I don't think it was her real breaking point. So I really don't believe it was her breaking point.
All right, that's the facts. That's the truth. Those are the top 5 things that I did to disrespect my Filipino mother and father-in-law and my sister-in-law. I'm going to make things right. But
I just want to let you know, this is after she made the speech. This is also about a day or two ago, and there's up and coming. So this is way after everything.
It's
Try
too
to
soon
put
for that.
this one in
Yeah,
order.
we will
There's
get to
other
it.
stuff, but this
Thanks
is the
for
main
watching.
stuff.
Guys, I just wanted to give you an update. I am safe and the kids are safe, and I just wanted to thank all of you for your positive comments, supporting me through this process, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I am not setting up any GoFundMe. Hey guys, I just wanted to give you an update. I am safe and the kids are safe, and I just wanted to thank all of you for your positive comments, supporting me through this process, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I am not setting up any GoFundMe or any donations. It's because I don't want to disappoint people, and part of my culture as much as possible, especially you have children, if you can work things out, just work things out. Since the day that I shared my side of the story, we have been talking, and also we came up to some resolutions and conditions that now that I am 6 weeks pregnant, I am going back to the Philippines on my second trimester. I know it's not a good idea for me to go back to the Philippines because something might happen, but for me it's really important for me to go back. It's because this is also one of our problems, one of the root of our problems, that me longing to my home country and him thinking that I don't like to be in here. So we're just resolving little by little. I just wanted to clarify too that I am not getting any allowance and I don't have credit card. So everything that I am purchasing, I have to ask permission, and I have this.
I just want to let you guys know, for those that seen this the other day, we did have this clip, okay? The rest of it we did not have. And this is just her trying to explain her situation out. But again, he's making money off of his channel. She's making money off of his channel. Several of the couples do this. Something that came in mind, and all we keep getting a ton of messages since, is that Gio and Maya did the same thing. They're both capitalizing 100% on their divorce by talking about it. And then Gio went as far as to appear on other vloggers' channels to keep on talking about it. But they're getting tons of stickers and a bunch of simps that are falling through with all these women like Rose and David. No update on David. She continues the channel. So 1 second, update on the AC. That's what the sidebar is about. We got the AC thing going on. 1 second. All right, so real quick, we did lose Freon on the unit, and the last time, weirdly, they didn't see that. They just figured it was the fluctuation in the weather change, because the weather dropped to about 70 at night, and I keep the AC going because there's so much dust, dirt. They've been burning trash, so we always keep the AC going, and it's a lot healthier that way. And they're saying that it got loose, the actual bolt or whatever with where the Freon is. But we do have them clean it every few months, and we clean the balcony, and who knows why it actually came loose. So the Freon's been leaking out, so they have to put it in there. Good news is it's about $65, including the visit. Okay, so
Oh.
all right, so I'm gonna let this play. So 1 second. All right, so yeah, it's about $60, which is really good compared to if you had an AC company come out. It's the ones that sold us the unit 2 years ago. But if you would bring, what is the cost currently in the United States to have somebody come and put Freon and to do a maintenance on the situation? I bet it's not $60, not even close. Last time we did something similar to that, it cost a few $100s, but it was a bigger unit in the United States. So. But I'm happy, but not, because last time we got away with just a visit, and this time it's like it's different when you start thinking in Filipino pesos. So in the manner that when you think about 3,000 pesos, it's like, wow, that pinches. That's like 3 days' wages for someone, with decent wages, and it's like So, anyways, so get this going again.
This needs to be discussed. So if you want something, we're gonna discuss it. This is how our marriage works. Honestly, I'm not the typical Filipina that's sending money to support my family back home, and I cannot send any money because I don't have it, first of all. And also, my family have a business in Manila. We have businesses there.
And if you guys stick around when this is almost over here in a little bit, then we will go ahead and go through the comments. And we might even, if George doesn't have to go do something, then open the panel up. I'd be interested to hearing from people today.
Parents send us to a nice school growing up, so basically we have the money growing up, and I honestly have to say this, that I have eaten really great restaurants back home than here because it's really expensive here. Anyway, just wanted to say thank you everybody.
Somehow my ex-wife got dragged into this story.
What do you mean
as
drug into? She went on the
the
vacation with
sponsor
him.
of everything that I'm broke, and my ex-wife paid for the Disney World trip, the airfare, and everything. And that's interesting because we just worked out the bill to reimburse her because she did book the Disney World trip as a matter of convenience. But I owe her back $803.80 minus the airfare that I paid for her to go over. But in that conversation with my ex, gave her an update on what's happening with Jan and I. And at the end of the conversation, she said, "You guys are liars." I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "You're making this up. You know, you're just making up this drama for views. You know, you both like social media, and it's just bullshit." And I said, no, we were liars before this. We were kidding ourselves before the Disney World disaster. You know, we were putting out there that we were this perfect couple who had beaten the odds, that we could overcome the age gap, culture gap, power gap, and everything else. And that I, late in life, achieved my dream of having children, and she achieved her dream of getting out of poverty. No, that was the lie. We were liars before this, and now...
Okay, so everything that we have been saying about the YouTubers or social media people living different lives, or his wife actually said that they were living that type of thing and her getting out of poverty, it's all just a bunch of like crap for what's going on with them. But the truth is usually you don't see everything. But then some people play the whole thing out on air and still leave everything out. And that just feeds all the additional people like me and others that are doing the social media based on it. And then people still being interested. Hence the birth of TMZ and Entertainment Tonight and all the news stations that's done it. It's just at a different level. But there is something really broken going on here. I still believe what's being said, or my gut feeling is you don't leave a woman because she can't have kids when you're already in your late 50s. He's getting ready to turn 60 and his wife is 28. And so there's a 30-year age gap. He wanted kids. His wife wanted kids. They wanted that family. They had the American dream. It took a woman outside of the country to complete that. And there's nothing wrong with, dating a woman that you feel that, can take care of you or that'll complete your dream, or vice versa, the guys that come here. I know I kind of rag on that situation, like I rag on George, that all these guys are doing this, and that. We know it can be achieved. We know there's happiness. Nothing is in black and white. Nothing is that perfect. Me and George have issues all the time. A lot of it is dealing with me missing my family. A lot of it's dealing with the cultural differences here and the infrastructure. And like I said, I even noticed here lately, George is having some issues with, like today. He's really upset. Like we had problems at the bank, and I'll talk about that in another video. And then with them showing up hours early, and we're grateful, but we had things scheduled. So now the live stream, I'll have to majorly edit this just to get this stuff out of here. But anyways.
Now we're facing the truth. And the truth is, yeah, we have the fundamental problems of any marriage, but
We have completely different expectations. We had different expectations of how life would go with this, massive challenge before us. And I've always believed, and I do believe Jan believed, that it was driven by love. It doesn't override the transactional nature of our relationship, the way every relationship has transactional natures. But it's gotten really real because Jan and I have been talking, and she's going to go back to the Philippines. Here's the letter. Hi, baby loves. I'm writing you a letter to tell you formally that I will go back to the Philippines on my second trimester, second week of April 2025. I know that it's going to be hard on you, me taking the kids back to my home country, but I think it's going.
Real quick, they're communicating this still. I can't reiterate it enough. They're still communicating through email and through TikTok and not doing it face to face. Now, I will let you know, and I don't know how many people are dating Filipinos, married to Filipinos. I have found so far with George and others, the communication's a little off. Like passive aggressiveness is really heavy in some Filipinos. Like they'll avoid things at all costs. And I get it. I think that's what makes them good nurses, or where they tolerate something. And people probably debate there's a big difference. But I think they do, for the most part, try to avoid things, probably so much so that it gets to this sort of boiling point. And that is a big problem with me and George. Is it used to be we couldn't go more than a few hours with not saying anything, but George can go a half a day without saying anything till he needs a grilled cheese or something. But the whole thing is now they're communicating this way to get past things. That's bad business too.
Going to be the best decision to work our falling relationship. I would also like to have a written letter that you are allowing me to take the kids, allowing me to take the kids with me. I don't want to be in a position where I am being accused of something I have no intention of doing. The kids will be taken care very well with my family's help, as well as me during this pregnancy. I hope this time frame being away would also help you to focus on your work and business, Jan. So the plan is she will go back because she will get better support from her family there. Because here in Hawaii, it's just us. It's just two parents, raising two toddlers, and now, a third on the way. Well, it's scary. It's scary for both of us because, for me, it's if it's a willing departure, then I trust that she comes back. She wants to come back in the final trimester and have our third child here in Hawaii, because it's better to have a child in America. That's a good part of being Americanized, I guess, because our first child was born in Manila, and he contracted meningitis in the hospital and was in NICU for 4.
All right, so I was wrong. Meningitis. That's not good either. So, and real quick, this is making me worry about dating apps with Filipinos. You should worry about that with any of them and any nationality. There's one thing that I've strongly believed in since we've started this channel. There's going to be a gap. I never really thought of me and George as being too much different because he knows a lot about the culture. He had been in the US for a while, but I've dated foreigners myself for a while. But there is always going to be some sort of difference. But people are people. I have to repeat that. And I think people are basing it on, oh, they're from Southeast Asia, this couldn't go wrong, or that couldn't be. And no, they're not Americans, or they're not British, or they're not Australian. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. And people go on with blinders. And by no means are we here to suck up to anybody. It's either people stay and watch or they don't. We just put out information like the next person does, except for mostly the blinders are off. I mean, I would love to say a lot more about what's going on here, but there's still a limit as far as the government, and I have to live by my neighbor's situation, and that's why you get like the big difference with me and George during the live streams. And I think people can appreciate where I do one thing, and then George, like someone the other day said something about me cutting him off and always ragging on him on air and all that, and I'm like, we've been doing that. And if I waited for George to talk about stuff, you guys won't get anything. You know, George is a very quiet person, and he only, answers. Like if you see him actually starting off the conversation with stuff, then that means he feels strongly about it. And then you'll see him like he did, hey, 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 hey. And then we sit around and talk about it for like an hour after the live. So it's what we've been doing, and it's what actually makes this show different, unlike any of the live streams or channels that are out there. And we actually live in the Philippines, so it makes a difference. So, but yes, a dating app, you just have to be careful on there. There's all kinds of things going on.
14 days. And then she's trusting me to take care of them, provide them with everything they need while they're there. And the hardest part will be, for me personally, being away from my children. And I know it will be hard for Jayan because, I'm very bonded to them. They're very bonded to me, and she enjoys seeing that. That's what a family is. But it's also the reason why the Disney World trip happened and not her going back to the Philippines because she was homesick. I know she mentioned in an earlier post that I reneged on an agreement that she could go back for a couple of months. And the real reason I reneged on that is because after I'd agreed to it and actually booked the tickets, I was going to be without my children for 3 months. And it wasn't a bad renege or, cancellation, because all I said to her was, just picture yourself being without Race and Rocky for 3 months. And it was settled that way, to be continued with something else. And the something else was the Grand Disney World trip. And I'm going to talk about that again. Because I want to give more explanation as to why I was rude and disrespectful to her parents, but it's late, and I just need to process what we're gonna do. And we've got 4 months to figure it out and refine it. And I hope Jan chimes in on the situation. Okay.
This right here is 12 hours ago before we start this and finish the rest of this off. So I just wanted to let that roll through. But if she goes back, anything 6 months outside the United States, she'd have to apply to go back. Like George right now, if we went back together, we would have to apply for him to go back. Like he would have to, his green card still shows valid, but after being outside for more than 6 months, which we've been here out of the country for 4 years, he would have to start a process, or at least I'm imagining there's an amendment possibly. I don't know. All I know is an attorney can fix just about anything, but more than likely, like George and like her, they would have to start over again, showing that he still had a valid visa. So I'm not an attorney, but I'm imagining that's what's going to happen with her, because by then, by the time the baby comes, it'll be beyond a point. Here she is on her own channel 12 hours ago, now stating herself and just eating up social media, not flexing on social media, not being nasty. She's using it in her favor for social media. Americanized Filipino wife. So I think it's kind of funny, and she's about ready to repeat the same thing.
Americanized Filipino wife here. I just wanted to give you an update since Chad2Dad went out with the kids to go to the park. This is my best time to engage with you. I just wanted to apologize for not engaging and posting too much. It's because if you know, the first trimester is really difficult. And I have 2 toddlers that constantly want my attention, and just a mother that keeping up with all of the mess that they did.
Welcome to motherhood, woman.
By the way, and also I am so overwhelmed with all of the videos and all of the tags and all of the comments saying their 2 cents, and I cannot really cope up. I didn't really realize that I will get too much of this attention, and I'm just really overwhelmed right now. I just wanted to clarify for the second time, I am not going to set up any donations or
Don't send any
GoFundMe,
money,
it's because
guys.
I
Don't
think
send
that
no money to
there's
us.
right people that
Just
needed
don't
it
do
more
it.
than me. It's
We're
because
not
with
worthy.
your follows, with
We're
your
not
support,
worthy.
you already changed my life. It's because I just wanted to give you an update that I'm already monetized. So thank you so much for supporting my channel. With all of the attention that I am getting, I cannot stop thinking of what is gonna be my voice? What's next to me? How am I gonna use this platform to educate women to have their own money? It's just I just felt that I was given a responsibility to educate women that you need to have your own money or need to have your own.
Booyah! There it is. All this crap of back and forth about the passport brothers and independent women, and they want this and they want that. I get her point of saying have your own money. But the whole thing is, why do you think all of us American women or all these other women besides the Asian women, why they are somewhat the way they are? It's because things aren't exactly green over in the US either. Okay, as far as your man able to pay everything or do everything, or they don't get ill, or that you don't have to take on a job. There are women taking on 2 jobs while their man has a job too, and they're raising the kids, and they're cooking and cleaning, and they're doing everything that she's doing without a job over there. Okay, so it is something. She's young. She should have thought about it, but that should be the least of her problems. She's still using social media for all this. I think a lot of this, I know she's going through this. This isn't made up what she's actually going through, but what's going on now is how I'm going to use my platform like she's the like the original that this has happened to. It's actually been going on since the beginning of time, and it's him for the women to be independent. I don't know. She's at you're missing the point where she came through and said that she needs to use her platform about um, how to make money, or that she should have had her money. And yeah, so
Own skill. So if there's uncomfortable situation, you can easily get out.
it's not a marshmallow.
And to all of the Filipino that is defending me, I just wanted to say maraming salamat. As in, sobrang full yung hurt ko kasi nararamdaman ko kayo at sobrang, oh my gosh, naiyak ako. Sobrang thank you, as in sobrang salamat kasi alam mo yun, kahit na malayo ako, nararamdaman ko yung suporta niyo. Just wanted to say thank you.
All right, so now you guys get to stare at my mug. Okay, so that was the whole production. So all in all, guys, this turned out to be a hot mess. I'm more shocked to see that he has a kid. And let me see if I can find, for you those that asked about it real quick, I'll pull up the photo of him on his website. That's where he built a house. I believe that's his wife up there in the left-hand corner. I could be wrong, when she was younger. There is his other child. He was with a Vietnamese woman that took his kid, somebody else he met on the another dating site. There she is. There's his ex-wife. But I think the ex-wife being involved has a lot of issues too. As far as there's no way. Okay, maybe it's not because his current wife, the Filipina, is passive and she's good with all of this because she wanted the American dream. But there's got to be some sort of tensions all the way around that she's just not admitting to. But there's the ex-wife and everything. And let me see if I can find the footage. Get to the comments here. See if George wants to open up. I had some footage. Where was that? All that on the footage, and I don't know if this is it. I'm just going to pull up a file. It may come right up. Might be the same.
With the Chad2Dad lore, he has another child that is currently in Vietnam. He has a multi-part series on his page covering the story of how his first son got kidnapped, how he met this baby mama through Tinder, flew her over because she was on a different island in Hawaii, and then spent the holidays with her, got her pregnant, and then sent her away because he was tired of caring for her, and literally told her, I don't care if the child is mine. He said at some point he even thought that maybe if he had a child with another woman, he would just forget about this Vietnamese woman and his child with her. Yeah, all this coming from a guy who really wanted to be a dad. He was actually married at the time to his ex-wife, Mel.
I want to let you know that is stuff that he has said on his page. So I just want to let you know that is another side note that he did say that he could just move on and that he had already had the baby. He wasn't even divorced from his other wife when he had that Vietnamese baby. So
the reason for their divorce was because he wanted biological kids, and Mel could not have biological kids because of her cancer treatments. He literally spent 1 week with his first baby mama before he impregnated her. So shares some intimate details about their first, interaction.
His interaction with his other one, he probably had her pregnant within the week too. So he still was married, impregnated a girl in the first week with the other girl that he got off a dating site. And now he's done it with his current wife in the Maldives and then brought her to the U.S. That's Bella, our spokesperson.
Saying that they didn't do it on their first night together because she was on her period, but then the next day she revealed that she used a big toy because she was in the mood. Then shares suggestive images of her and very much paints her in the light of, oh, she's this temptress, very sexualized, which is already problematic, but then there's another layer to the fact that she is an Asian woman. So she gets pregnant. He doesn't really believe her at first, but then he does believe her and finds out that it's true. But then he still wants to get rid of her because she's being too needy as a pregnant woman. At some point while pregnant, baby mama tells him that she's in California and that he's got to fly her to Hawaii if he ever wants a chance at meeting his child. So he does fly her over while he's on a separate trip to the Philippines for who knows what passport bros are doing traveling around to the Philippines. He has his ex-wife Mel pick her up from the airport and take care of her. He doesn't end up finishing this story, but based on the information that other people have digged up online, he finds out that his baby mama was actually married this whole time, and the husband finds out. Because baby mama is married, the husband's name is on the birth certificate, not him. So the husband is the legal father of the child. And the baby mama does go back to Vietnam with the child and without him, obviously. And not to say that I know this baby.
And also in saying that she did take the kid away in the middle of the night. That'll be explained in another minute.
Mama is 100% a good person and he's the bad guy of the situation. But I just feel like the way that he tells these stories already shows the amount of entitlement and attitude that he has about everything. We don't have the baby mama side of the story and we may never get it. Even after not knowing her side of the story and watching his, I know I'm supposed to feel bad for him, but I don't. Let me know what you guys think. So there's actually even more.
World to know that my son, at 2 months old, was abducted by his mother and taken out of the country. The mother was in America,
There's
married
the
to
other
another
woman.
man, but she left her
We had her
husband
on
to
social
have a
media.
child in order to keep her green card and get child support. When I found out it was a scam and took her to court, she ran, and I haven't seen my son since.
This comes from
There is
his own
no
site,
authority
by the
that
way.
can bring him back. A day doesn't go by I'm not suffering and in pain missing him. But this is not about me. I have another son. His beautiful and loving mother and I are very happy. But there is a hole in my heart because nothing can replace a missing child. I wonder if these brothers will ever meet in the future and share the very different lives they led. I want the world to know that my son. I want Americans to know if you're married and have a child, the husband is the father, no matter who impregnated the wife. When my son was born, I applied for his birth certificate, and I was surprised to learn that I could not be listed as the father. It's a fact. I could not be my son's father. This letter from the Department of Health explains the law, quote, a woman's husband is presumed to be the natural father of her children.
It's like that in
Because
quite a
of
few
this,
states in the US.
another man was able to get a birth certificate
I
with
think
his
Missouri,
name.
that's what
And
what's her
then
name?
the mother
Going
was
to
able to get a
Gypsy.
passport to take our son out of the country. The system failed an innocent child.
Yeah.
A birth certificate was issued while a paternity case was pending.
Yeah.
DHS did not stop his transportation despite a bench warrant on the mother. And the court will not amend the birth certificate or render a custody decision until the mother chooses to return to America. The system usually harms men who raise or pay child support for children that are not theirs. In Rock's case, the laws rob him of the love of his real father and the future he may have.
Did an entire deep dive investigation on Chad2Dad so that you don't have to, and what I've discovered, thanks to some comments on my other video, will shock you. So his first wife was Mel, and they have this IT business in Hawaii, on the island of Oahu in the city of Honolulu. And that's her, and it looks like the business was founded in 1991. And then this is a picture of them in 2020. Okay, so that's an important detail because what I'm about to tell you next is very strange. But what it appears to happen is that Mel had cancer, and so she couldn't have children. And he wanted to have children. And so it almost seems like the ex-wife is they're still business partners, and it was almost like she was in on the whole idea of him having a baby with somebody else. On his website, he has this whole section about how he is basically rebuilding his ex-wife's house. Notice that, renovating the house of ex-wife. So he's super involved with her, and remember how in the latest information on Disney World, he said my ex-wife paid for the Disney trip. And that's because they are still business partners, and who knows what else. They have some sort of deep friendship, that apparently their marriage ended because he wanted to have children, and that woman couldn't have children, but they're still a mesh. He's fixing her house, they own a business together. So then it turns out he has this son from a previous relationship, and this woman was not the wife, the ex-wife. Notice how he says the son was born on 2019, and apparently the woman was married to somebody else.
All right, so I know some of that repeated, and we've been talking about it, but I wanted you guys to see where he did have the Vietnamese woman on, but there's just so much there, so much going on that it's really incredible, and just a lot to process. Hey, Ed, what's going on? No, not yet. That was just put up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ed from Queens. Love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Money, sensitivity equals insecurity. The silent treatment is very mature and the worst kind of passive aggressive behavior.
That's you. So no, because I did say, because somebody was saying that hold on, babe. I did mention how you're passive. You admit you're passive. Filipinos are passive. And it was one of my top 3 issues that I had with the Philippines, is some of the behavior that Filipinos have, and then they're passive about it after they do it, aka traffic issues. They'll cut you off and they're kind of real passive on their behavior, or cutting in line. They're not thinking like I am, hey B, I'm getting in line because I'm bigger and badder. And that's the way it would have went down the US. No, Filipinos here, it's like high school or something. It's kind of like they just do it. And it's some of the behavior is passive. Some of it is naturally that they're just on island time, or I don't know what's going on. But I was telling them that in a case of, he should have known better, or of what he did, just because that the Filipinos were there in America, it didn't mean that it was okay because he was on his own territory. He could have acted like that, because there's a lot of times I want to act out over, trust and believe that. But I also feel I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells. How many times did I say I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells because I'm in another country? But there is a limit on respect too. It's a hard balance. So I told them about you being passive, and how, it just goes where you try to avoid fights. It's like I think it's really heavy duty, are ingrained in you really heavy as Filipinos. And I don't know, but I told them there can be angry Filipinos too. Believe me, there's some that are just nasty all the time. People are people. So that's why he's making that statement, because I did say that. And it's irritating for me when people are passive, or when I get the tampo. I think the tampo and the passiveness are somewhere mixed. A year or 2 ago, everybody was talking about tampo all the time. It was Passport Brother stuff. Then it was, oh, my lady's tampo. it kind of makes its rounds on subjects and stuff. And I think they're just avoiding stuff, but the worst treatment that I find, I'd rather you punch me in the face than to ignore me. And I think George knows that, and he still does it. And so it's like, he calls it ragging. I call it that I just am trying to find out stuff, and it is rough when they actually do that. So it's so that's all I gotta say about that. Some reason I don't know if it's the dust, the cats, or whatever, or I've got a bad like sinus infection going on, but my nose is starting to itch again.
Just now?
No, probably in the last hour
Oh.
since they've been here. Look at my nose is red. I don't know.
It's not.
It could be Goo. The certain cats in this house do cause they all have different fur, but ever since they've blown the AC, which I probably wouldn't leave. Did he say leave it high like that?
No, but I figured we lost so much cold air since they opened the door for a long time.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wouldn't leave it at 16. That's kind of an insane number. We
No,
keep
I
it at
mean-
even 25 is cold, so 16 is really cold. But yeah, so we'll have you can't hold her and go through the comments,
Okay.
but I said that I didn't know if you wanted to open the panel
No,
up
she
and
says
put a
no.
link,
She
or
says no.
we have not done that in a long time.
She says no. It's so cute. She's like, no. All right.
And of course, as normal, guys, for those that haven't been our panels, when we open up the panel, this is not one of those live streams that lets everybody in. This is not a no Google. No,
You guys hear her? She's saying no.
sweetie, your nails. The cat doesn't retract her nails.
No, she never has.
Never. She stayed a kitten, and when she weighs what, about 15 pounds.
Yeah. Well, this.
Google, I can't hold you, Google. I said no. Didn't I say no, Google Bear?
Oh, apparently she says doesn't take
Ow.
no for an answer.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
You guys rarely get to see Gucci. That's her name, Gucci.
She rarely shows up on camera.
No, she's been coming out more and more.
You
But
remember this?
no, I said what part? I put up one or two while it was going on, so
It's smile and be happy, sis.
Well-
Give a thumbs up.
okay, so I have to sidebar you for a minute. All right.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, side paneling, meaning just like George said, we don't open up the panel to let just random people in. You either have to be a member to get on our panel, or you have to be somebody that we've already vetted, known, or like a serious regular that's been on the panel for good reasons. This is not it just says what it is.
Yeah. Hey, Victor C. Hey, Max. Hey, Bobby G.
It
Hey,
seems,
Dallas.
it seems to
Sarah
irritate
Tyson.
people.
Hey,
We
hi, Tony.
we had some guy about 3 years ago give us a hard time because we wouldn't give him our home address. And it was like, dude, we don't even know you, vet you, or we
Right.
don't even meet up with people that vet. You realize how many
Yeah,
random
let's
creeps
just
there are in the
furnish
Philippines?
our, address
Most of
to
them
everybody.
expats. And
want-
unfortunately,
Let me close my social security number too while I'm at it. And
who
credit card number.
knows? Who knows? But just because the other fools here are doing it doesn't mean we will. Same with the panels. If they want to open up a panel and have a bunch of oddball, whatever situation that are just there for, just can't do it. It's just not going to happen. This isn't.
American Finance.
I would like to name the channels that do it, and there's about 10 of them that do it. I'm just not doing
George's
it.
Funeral Funds.
Yes, that is exactly what membership is for. We're not going to ask for you to pay for the funeral or to do it like Jen did. Well, here's my PayPal and pay for it because she said they had their lives together, which evidently they don't. I'm just going to save for it slowly at $2 at a time.
Yeah.
And even then, you don't even get that. You lose 30 or 40% of it.
Yeah, Tony Man says, look at that ponytail. Right, there's a period of time where guys wanted that ponytail, or do you remember that man bun
tail.
thing?
I
yeah,
still
that
got
kind of deal.
I got a rat tail.
Smell and Be Happy says, George, why don't you make a documentary like Chad, where you portray yourself like a hero, as a hero. There you
Right?
go.
He really is something else.
Robin Murray says, "How long has he been a pirate?"
Don't know. I guess since 2021 didn't last very long.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he did have
he may have
surgery or something.
LASIK, or maybe he has a lazy eye. I don't know.
Gee whiz, the cat's got a
Yeah.
finger off.
Max says, dating experience? Dude makes everything look like a transaction. Tony Man says, she put his ass in a basement. She looks tougher than he is. There you go. Right?
No, I would say something happened, but I'm assuming she had more access upstairs because of the kids and their bedrooms would be my guess. And he probably had a man cave down there. Probably worked out 100%.
Yeah. Now, this is somewhat kind of, I can see this. Dude's been reading Harlequin romance books for 20 years and wants to do a reality show similar. Right. It's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, Ted?
American in Pinay says, I watched Jay say the ex-wife paid for a Disney trip in the room, and they just paid for their airfare. No,
Whole
that's
point is she went and nobody's talked about that to this point. That is just freaking weird. That is just so odd.
yeah.
I was telling people
No, it's odd.
about
It's
you
odd,
and your
guys.
ex, and I barely tolerated
And
that and had
okay, it's
fits
one thing
about
her
it.
paying for it, but she was there.
Yeah, I barely tolerated you going and doing taxes with your ex.
What I'm saying is,
But then when you took a sidebar to go to Starbucks, that's where
that was business. That was business. It really was.
No, to some point, that's not the way every woman would see that. You should have just went and done your taxes.
It wasn't like that though.
Okay,
Not everything's black and white, and not everything's just about tax. But anyway,
well, some people wouldn't even tolerate that. Period.
Nevermind says, well, the wife said she considered the ex as her mother. I thought it was weird. No, it was. It was very weird.
Problem is I no longer have the phone to actually do the links.
Yeah, Timothy Rogers says, all these people are crazy.
I don't even know how to get this.
Al Rogan says, considering those facts ended well, this could be much worse. Well, I guess. I mean, it's not over yet. I mean,
no, I mean you're right. It could have been whatever, but it still seems that way. If she's talking about being broke and going back and he's paying for the ticket, he couldn't with his money. They said they had an apartment complex. Why isn't he putting her in an apartment? I mean, I get she misses her family, and if there's that much going on, I mean.
Well, there's a lot of questionable things. For instance, again, see, that's what I mean. For example, the ex-wife paying for things.
I know she wants to go visit, but
he claims that if he's such a great guy, no offense to you, guy, again, if he's such a great guy, then why does he have his ex pay for the trip? Okay. Because you're like,
because she does all the office stuff and all that, you don't know how to pay the electric bill barely right now.
No, that's not.
She arranged the stuff. That's how come I think she paid. But she also went on the trip also.
I know that, but
She
if she
handled
paid for it, she still paid for it, not him.
Probably paid it out of the base company money like you did.
Yeah, but that's not that. Then that means she didn't pay for it.
Yeah. So
that wasn't my point. My point is, if he's such a great guy, she wouldn't be involved in it. And even if she did offer to pay, he'd be like, "No, I'll pay for it because you know what? It would make things a little weird or a little sticky."
There's just a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was getting at. Simi Social says she probably could not adopt due to her age, so they trafficked the baby in. This needs to be investigated. Bobby G says he probably wants to have kids with the new girl, but take them away, make her leave without kids, so the ex-wife can have and him can have their family. Yeah.
Is an SS? What's an SS?
I
typically see same
no,
point on both sides.
They're hold on.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah, they're saddest. Robin Murray says, "How is this guy gonna react when the first simp steps in to take over the direct daddy responsibility?"
And I want to let you guys know if we open up the panel, we're just not going to randomly talk about other things. We've had people that we've had come on that move the agenda totally over to their agenda. And again, I don't have any patience for that. So,
Right.
I mean, I know we get off topic, but I hate to say it, it's our show. So it's
Right.
talk about narcissism.
Robin Murray says she
Sorry,
should
guys.
lawyer up and stay in the USA. The prenup won't apply to kids. He's gonna pay mucho.
Wonder why the thumbnail didn't change.
Pablo Chicano says this
Changed it
guy
earlier.
is a demon spreading demon semen.
Here goes nothing. We haven't opened up the room in a long time, guys.
Actually, you know, my people, that kind of deal is very Americanized. Yes, it is. However, it is again racially biased.
Oh, by me saying them are your people, that's an American thing? Us pointing out them's your people, or
No, she's saying it's an Americanized thing, or he's saying it's. I mean, it is an American saying. However, it still doesn't make it non-racially biased. It's still racially
it's not
biased.
an American thing. People say that all over the world.
I said Americanized, not necessarily. Americanized doesn't mean it's of the origin. Americanized is actually the opposite. It's something that didn't belong in that country that they made their own. But anyway.
Anyways, no more pasta salad for you, no bacon for you either. Wait a minute, how'd you end up with the singles cup?
Huh? Magic. Okay, Ocean Breeze says people are a lot more open than most of you would like to admit. It's funny how people think if you don't do like we do, then you're a bad person. It's not that. It's not that. It's further. And you can read between the lines. There's a difference, guys. There's a difference. Bottom line, if you guys actually pay attention, has he actually even said once that he loves her?
He said he loves his ex.
I know
the
that.
only
I'm not
thing.
talking about the ex though. That's my point.
No, he
Has
hasn't.
he
How much
once
I love my wife.
mentioned?
Yeah.
Correct.
I really
Said that he loves her.
He could have on other ones. I didn't watch everything like Elliot Eastman.
But it's not something
But
he
through all that, he didn't say, "I love my wife. I want her to stay. I need her." Ain't
Right.
like me crying and begging when you go to the grocery store situation.
Yeah.
It's not like,
I get it. I'm the most honestly. I'm very open, but there's
how many times do we both go through some sort of tears about how much we love each other and our feelings for each other?
a lot.
A lot.
Once a
each
week
month.
at least.
Yeah, how much we care for each other and how deeply we care. We cry. And I'm not saying that's the way he has to display it. It doesn't make me weak. It doesn't make George weak. It's just that it's just I don't know. I don't know. People have to find the whole package. But you ain't never gonna do that either.
Yeah. Radar says sometimes it's the kids that's a bridge too far. Here it's the kids. Whatever it takes to wake up. Pablo Chicanos really loves that. That dude is spreading demon semen.
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, Bobby G says she has to know he doesn't care about her at all. She's a Chad baby mill. That's all she ever was. Correct. Again,
that's no Chad baby
Yeah.
meal. It's like like Krusty the Clown situation going on there.
Right. That's what I mean. It's not
like
a
Brad
question of
Chad.
being open or anything like that. It's the fact that or rather, it's actually too open, if that makes any sense. So in this case, no, he doesn't really show love and affection towards his current wife. That's the issue here. Now this is yes. I read this earlier and I agree completely. Al Rogan says, "How do you sit in a basement while your children open Christmas presents upstairs?"
He did say that. He said
Something
he
is
didn't
missing.
attend. Yeah.
Correct, and that's because see that's another thing. It's like let's analyze this again. I get it if the kids didn't exist. Let's say he says she's opening presents upstairs and I'm down here. I get it because again he really doesn't show love for this woman. He really doesn't. Now here's the problem. He's so hell bent on his offspring and his prodigy or whatever, and but guess what? Christmas opening presents.
And he
This
wasn't
is something
around.
he should be upstairs with his smartphone recording. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
instead of putting him and his wife on their smartphones for entertainment and
Correct.
all the other stuff with social media. So based on their serious drama, hell, if we really put our serious drama on or every time we cried about each other, our numbers would be at 60, 70, 80, 90,000 or even a half a million if we went on like that. We have a limit. You guys will see me pop off, but that's about all you guys are getting, but it ain't going to be like that.
Yeah. Bobby G says she probably would have made a good wife had she not met the guy. She did. Had she not met the guy, she did, and someone take her phone away.
Yeah.
Thaddeus says most Visayans refuse to talk Tagalog. Watch Philippine local news. They have to translate all the time.
I'm going to put another link again to StreamYard because if not, we're going to wrap up these comments here in another 15, 20 minutes. If there's nobody on the panel, then
True Serum says two things we can't buy. That's love and respect.
yeah.
Bobby G, they should have a threesome. Um, Laura says, "Hi, Hattie and George. I met my husband in AOL chat room, not a dating chat room, but was looking for my husband that abandoned me and met my future spouse. Irony at its best. There you go.
Aw.
Oh, yeah. That's a great show, Laura. Snap. That's a really messed up and great show at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bobby G says, I miss AOL chat rooms. Lol, good old days.
Can my lips at rest don't lie. Laugh my ass off working overtime with those lips. George be smiling all day. Yep. And then I'm gonna make. I mentioned biscuits and gravy, and somebody else. I don't know if that was sarcasm about what biscuits and gravy or what is that, or I don't know if it's because they don't get it, or if that's just old school, or
Biscuits and gravy?
I don't know. We had gotten a regular that had made a comment about the biscuit and gravy comment the last time by me saying that I can, hang with the best of them.
I thought that was a regional thing. Certain areas have biscuits and gravy, certain don't. Some have grits, some don't. Or rather,
yes and no, but sausage, biscuit, and gravy and the eggs is pretty universal.
No, I get it. It's the
United
most
States.
American thing there
it's
is. Yes.
Southern. Just like I didn't approve
sorry.
when Filipina P went to Cracker Barrel and laid out stuff she said she never tried, and we know for a fact that's here. It's just like the microwave things and the Walmart thing when we called her out, and then her white knights and all the guys that are cracking up over her being a nickel piece. That it was just all that. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So I had to do a reaction on that one. But the biscuit and gravy thing, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of us grew up with the shit on a shingle and all that gravy type of situation, especially if you're German, come from a
shit on a shingle. I'm not familiar with the terminology.
Yeah, it's just chipped meat inside of a white gravy.
I get it,
so gravies are really heavy in certain countries. And
Al Rogan says this is a prelude to a snapped episode.
Right.
Right?
That's really the whole story is a story. I mean, And it could be, what if, or could it be that she already knows that's what's going on? What if she really is the third wheel, but not the third wheel? Right now, nickel piece, eyebrow, leg is actually the third wheel, and the kids are the 1.5 wheel in that situation.
Well, now
There's
here's the
something.
thing.
What's up?
Now that exactly, like American Pie says they have a weird relationship. Laura says if you're an ex and no kids, what's the connection? Let's be friends is BS. Now I get it, they run a business together, but business partner, that's no business partner. I'll tell you that right now. But she could be the mastermind for all we know, and he looks like the bad guy. Just saying. I mean, we don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe she's the mastermind behind all of this.
With the AC messed up, I was up really early. Like
Oh
4
dang!
a.m.
Yes, apparently, because this is
she's,
this is a little further down. Key Dallas says
I wouldn't want to be
she's
that.
not pretty.
Did you guys?
Apparently, that's the consensus so far.
Okay, so when she was doing that interview, she was reaming her hand around her upper thigh. And literally her hand went around her upper thigh. And I get that only a dog wants a bone but doesn't mind jumping that bone. The same with they don't mind riding me like an e-trike. Who knows? But she's super, super skinny. And some guys are attracted to one type of person, not the other. I asked him about the exotic look. To me, it's not exotic. I would like to stay as fluffy as I am and as I am versus, like a lot of people keep saying, oh, it's because you're jealous and you just want to trade places with her and you blah, blah. But I guess people want the opposite of, I don't know, it's just not her.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be my ideals of switching, people up. Like if you had to, well, George will say nobody, but there's nobody you wish you would look more like. Every person has somebody.
Not really. Now you guys are brutal. Especially you, Truth Stream. Truth Stream says snapping turtle. That's what it is. I've rescued a lot of snapping turtles. I'm just saying, and
yeah, there's another name.
I don't know.
No,
maybe that's what she can do. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah. Who knows?
Wow. I'm already like going further down here. Laura says ladyboys look more feminine.
Hey.
Now I'm not a girly girl, but Filipinas always seem to so delicate to me. But she reminds me of kind of like a guy with long hair. And again, I'm not being mean or anything. She does look like Mikey Bustos. But however, I see your point, and for those of you, there are some really pretty Filipinos here. Just saying, I mean, not my type, but I'm just saying.
Did you say there's some really pretty Filipinos, but not your type?
Yeah, they're not my type.
You're not your type because I would do you in before they became your type.
Filipinos.
Yeah, I know that.
I didn't say Filipinas. I said Filipino.
Oh well, everything's your type for the most part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I already read that earlier. Bobby G says maybe we don't move into another country and have kids with someone you've never even stayed more than a few weeks with a woman.
1 week with the other one and 1 week with her or less in Maldives. Both of them were pregnant, and that was his MO right away.
Correct.
And it's obvious it is.
Correct. Yeah, live with a man before they get married or have kids or move into the US. Correct. That again, he set himself up, she set herself up. It's kind of both. She is still responsible for what's going on with her because of, if you analyze the situation, it's one thing if the picture is painted differently, but this is painted from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Expat Pepper says, I have to deal with family and have for decades. Parents do not always, parents do not always deserve respect. Just saying. Me and my wife worked through this stuff years ago. Wow. Service call arrives early, unheard of, right?
Right, which sounds like we're complaining, but there's a limit. I mean, we said after lunch, and I set it for 12:45. In Filipino time, that usually means 2 or 3 o'clock. It's usually off beyond by a couple hours. Showing up a couple hours early in service call, I get it, but you can't win, guys. Whether they're here on time, whether they arrive early, there's just a limit to arriving early,
Right.
especially here.
Yeah, that was way too early. Now Thaddeus
And with
says,
they won't call you either. It'd been nice if they'd have called or sent a message. They should have known it. My guess is the Filipinos that I was talking about all of this, they don't call, they don't plan on this, and they could have. Like they said they're going on to a place further away. They knew that when they left the place, but they didn't do any contacting by email message. They messaged last night. They
according to
messaged
him, they said they, because remember, they're just dispatch is a different story altogether. They weren't provided a phone number, and they didn't. There was no time on the work order. Again, that's
yeah.
no. That
They just-
person
yeah,
is
this-
dispatch. Has nothing to do
But that
with
was
those
this
guys.
morning.
I get it.
That would have been the U.S. I doubt this is just dispatch. The last time it was the same person that came. It's not a big operation. This isn't just somebody sitting at a desk or
It
whatever.
didn't sound like it because they were talking to some. That
Well,
call.
there's other employees. I get
that
that.
call and that the person they called wasn't even the one you were contacting.
So
She said, hold on. Let me talk to what's their name? And then they're like,
Okay.
oh, she wasn't even talking to her. She was talking to.
all right, so that's
Point
fine.
being
So
is-
what's the point being? They just left the office and said they didn't have a phone number. So the office didn't give them a phone number.
Right, that's the office's fault. That's why I said.
Yeah,
Anyway.
well, that ball gets dropped here about 1 million times a day.
Well, you're just lucky the ball rolled. Anyway,
I guess I should have.
Thaddeus says my 94-year-old mom, now gone 4 years, has quoted me. Her great grandmother that ran a 40-man boarding house. You don't really know anyone till you put your feet under the breakfast table. There you go. Laura says I have one child. I found the best guy to have a child with. My genius was at work. Clearly, I'm joking. I will not judge on this. I think I gave birth to a child whose father ate lead paint chips. Paychecks by Pepper says, anywho, relationships are hard and take work. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's not that, you know. Paychecks by Pepper says, so he knows he was wrong and is admitting it after the fact. That's not too bad. Many guys will never admit to anything being their fault.
He's doing it because he's being called out on air. He did everything online in front of everybody. He was mad, upset, just like that time when I went on air and was sitting there telling you guys things. I did have my limits. There was a limit, so I get how he might have, but he continued to play the whole thing out. He really kept playing the whole thing out. So, I mean, I kind of feel for the guy, but on the other hand, this stems from a bunch of other issues. Just like I said, you guys have no idea what definitely goes on a daily basis in here. And sometimes we have very bad disputes before we even go on air. And that is true. It's part of life, but he's been playing the whole thing out. She's been playing the whole thing out, and it's continued. And just because he admits it, I think he was only doing that for more sympathy, more, just like, I hate to say it, Rose and David does. And I mention it because it's couples that are within our section that are actually, where this has happened on air. And then she did stuff they got 2 channels. And so she went and said stuff, and then he said stuff, and they went back and forth for quite a while, about 1.5 years ago. And they went back and forth, putting it all out there. In the meantime, it was sticker money out the tail and a ton of sympathy, and where she was getting what she needed to hear and he did. And so it was just kind of out there, guys.
Yeah, now there's an angle to this. American Pinay says there's definitely more. I think her parents got there and saw his ex-wife and saw things were off, and her sister and mom told her her stuff wasn't right. Well, now there's a small smidgen of a chance, okay, that the ex-wife doesn't know what she's doing, and I don't mean it like it sounds. What I mean by she doesn't know what she's doing, is there a possibility that the ex-wife is there with the current wife because she knows that she's from the Philippines? She's trying to make her feel at ease, but in doing so, she's doing something wrong at the same time. Now, I highly doubt it, but there's a chance. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, you get my picture. I mean, there's a small possibility that she's doing that without realizing it's wrong. Es- Especially she's Filipina, because we're a very conservative country, and that's really frowned upon. Really. Um.
But then again, these guys are getting worse by the day, out fighting in traffic and attacking each other. There's a new generation out there too. So, but for the most part, Filipinos are quiet and conservative, and it is one of the features that the guys like, and I get it. But then you have the other thing that they complain about, their communication. It's like you're never going to get somebody that's always, happy with everything that's going on. There's
Well,
good and bad in
there's
all
nothing
couples.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, sure. So
Robin Meyer says, "Can't imagine cursing at any family member like that, and especially at any of my wife's family. I don't think you're redeemable after that."
I could do it to my own family, but I think I still have a limit unless it was really,
It's kind of
really,
like
really something bad. It would have been like it had to been really bad for me to step in. So, but I can't see like being physical with them or um yeah, because I think we've all had issues on and off with in-laws. If you didn't, then God bless you. But I can think of when, my kids, because we were both previous married, we're not like spring flowers or anything. We wilted, man, cracked and dried, the whole 9 yards. But I did have run-ins when we had moved from one state to the other, and I lived with in-laws for like 2 3 months waiting for the ex to get a job, which never happened, by the way. He got out of the military, that was it. And she would interject a lot into our relationship. It was her baby, and it was really at the worst times. And so there was time we had a whole debate about cigarettes and contraceptive. And when I said, "Hey, we need to go get that because I'm not having another kid," she like cussed me out over it. And I'm like, "Hey, hold up." It's like all I said to him is, "You need to reconsider where you're going to spend the money." I wasn't even nasty about it. She ran out the door coming after me like I thought she had a broom in her hand situation. And I'm like, over that. And so I don't know. But it's the physical part would have been too much. So, anyway,
well, there's that old saying, like, "Hey, hey, hey, nobody hits George but me." That kind of deal.
that's okay. I kind of feel that way. I was talking about something similar to that earlier. If you put yourself in a man's shoe as a woman, expect to sit there and get a little chew back on that stuff. Uh, my uh, my sister used to get into it with her ex. I'm like, but you're the one that punched him and started, and you guys were just on each other. If you guys are going back and forth, you can't go down the road and say, "Hey, he was abusing me all the time," when you were irking him. So I believe in that equal opportunity crap. You get in my face, you scream, and you do all this, and you tush or push me. It's on. So it's like, don't cry later that this and that happened. So
Yeah. Now here's the problem. Robin Meyer made a good point. This guy has an IT company in Hawaii, and I can't imagine somebody putting their drama online potentially risk this getting to clients. It's not a good look. Now here's the problem.
yeah, he's got a yeah.
Yeah, if you have IT
High-end.
guys get to have access to a lot of things that you don't want most people, have access to. So what I'm saying is this the kind of guy you want to employ or hire?
If he's putting out that kind of drama and that into social media, yeah,
No, you have a point there, Robin Mary. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
yes, no doubt, no doubt.
Paychecks Bat Pepper says sometimes silent treatment is only if you have nothing nice to say. Say nothing. There you go.
Yeah, but there's a limit, and there is a limit.
Yeah.
You can do that for a while, but I was telling him about you that it could go on for the rest of the day. That's what hurts me the most, but it seems to be longer and longer,
you're
but we
lucky.
still communicate. Well, that's what I'm saying. But you still have to communicate, and it's really a bad way to be like that. Being passive and just locking it up, not talking it out, is really a bad situation too. And I'm not trying to force no one to talk it out, but as for sure, as Americans, that's one thing that I've heard other foreigners say about us is that we're just really wanting to have it out over the situation, as I think we should. We're not talking about like fist to fist, but it should be communication. Don't need coddling. We need to work things out. And I need an opinion, and I want your opinion. I tried to do equal, and people should, but sometimes one couple, whether it's the male side or female side, they're not, there's like, there's no choices at all. It's just, where the woman says, hey, this is it. And then the guy's like, hey, we're just having steak for the next 3 weeks. And it's like, can we have chicken? No. So there's no compromise, there's no communication and all that. And that is 100% what kills relationships and marriages, and the silence. Keep going silent. I guarantee it is. And then after that, you're just roommates.
My old friend.
I'm going to darkness your old friend later. I'm going to choke that darkness later.
Ted Jenkins. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful Ted.
You know what I'm thinking though?
Yeah.
These mic covers came from a warehouse. I wonder if there's actually, what is the deal? I was telling George about the dust mite crap that's going on here. They actually have a fabric softener based on dust mite. Several companies do. I know they have in the US. You guys will say it's there, but it's the products here are really weird. And I'm like, wow. I mean, it makes me itch. Maybe I think
Permathin.
I doubt it. My guess is legally they get away by putting peppermint in it or something.
No, I said use permathin to kill the mite.
Okay. That's what I feel like. I feel like I've all of a sudden, but it could just be allergies.
Well, if you must know, I've been having allergies lately.
Maybe it's just the season.
Maybe that's why I'm bubbling up. Maybe it's not the squid. Anyway.
You got to stop eating the squid.
Oh my gosh, they have big giant squid at the mall. I'll show you guys. Anyway, Chase Nicholas says that guy made a video about disrespecting her parents too. That Chad guy, yeah.
Yes, that's the original video. It was all in the videos today, yes.
Yes. K Dallas, because it's a business and suspense, probably. There you go. Yeah, Radar says, yeah, kind of a surrogacy. That's probably a good word, surrogacy.
That's what I said from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I said surrogacy over again. Yes, but the deal is he not only did it once. I mean, I was telling George about this yesterday. I said, holy crap, look at all this stuff going on. I didn't know he had a kid with a Vietnamese woman. I didn't know he only knew her for a week and she was pregnant within the week. I didn't know that he did it like this with her and paid for the, some people would say paying $10,000 and doing it that way. But here's the thing. He didn't really go there to start a business. So is that another illegal situation he did? Is got a visa based on that? Is there any legality to him saying he was and then didn't and took a visa just to get in based on it, knowing
he took
it was a loophole?
Okay. He took a business visa with probably the intent to start a business. Well, with that being said, he doesn't have to.
I doubt that was his intent. He said he went there to hook up with her and
what I'm saying
to take her to the doctor. He was there to have his son. He did it.
Technically, it's not illegal if that's what he did. Is it illegal? No, because he could say, I intended to, but I changed my mind.
In other words, it's not real.
Right.
We know why he was there.
Well, that's why you pay that much.
Well, I guess he did. He's a numbskull.
I mean, $10K, yeah.
All right, so that's it. There's no open panel. We really need to wrap this up. Hey, what's going on, Salem?
Salem the Realtor says, Magandang tanghali there. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm so behind on the topic. Hello, peeps.
Yeah, it was too much going on. And I'm going to go through and edit this because we had a service call. There was a bunch of silence. There was a bunch of awkwardness. And he was out of the scenes. This has to be edited. So that means all this will be gone too. So
Ed from Queen.
which I don't even want to have to do that.
Ed from Queen says, interesting. You said being punched in the face is easier than silent treatment. Psychologists agree.
No, it's the one thing. There's two things you ain't going to do to me. You're not going to put your hands on me. People have asked me if the Mark Thornton thing would have happened. I'd have been like, yeah, these trolls and people can call me everything from A to Z. But the moment you put your hand on my kids, my husband, my family, or me, and I physically feel something, it's on. If that had been me, I'd have been Mark as a woman, would have been done, laid out. It'd have been ding, ding. That'd have been the end of it for me because when it comes to that sort of physicalness,
You would see a better fight than Mike Tyson. Just saying.
Oh well, anybody. The Cats had a better fight outside this morning than Mike Tyson did.
Right.
But as far as the silent treatment, that to me is like chalkboards, and it's not because people feel like what I say is that oh my God, you're not listening to me. It's like, yeah, I'm just ignoring her because she's nagging me and she doesn't hear anything. No, the full silent treatment gets to a lot of people because there's no productivity for me. And I'm about being productive and having things in order. It's just where it is. And for me, that's what I've always been about
all
is
about
mother.
production.
No, you ain't. You're about horsing around gaming and getting by with doing as little as possible. Speaking of little as possible, I'm staring at it. Now calm yourself down, Game Boy.
What?
You're like a 13-year-old kid. I'm telling you, that's what I'm dealing with on a daily basis. So if I ain't getting the silent treatment, I'm getting the Game Boy treatment.
What?
Don't cry about it later. Sissy boy.
Yeah.
When I'm chewing on that knob, click, click, change
There
that
you
channel.
go. Right?
Oh,
yeah. You guys want to see that again? Go to George at onlyfans.com.
Oh my God.
According to James P, your mic cover is made out of chinesium.
Probably. Of course, it came off of Lazada, and we got this board right here, or I call it board because it's still particle board. You get what you paid for situation. Now we said this probably would have been about $140 in the United States. I think we got it for $20, $25. And it's like,
our whiteboard.
No, not the whiteboard, the computer desk thing that we've put up here for the setup and everything. But it's the same with these. These are, I don't know what these cost in a set, but we've got a set of each color, new colors. By the way, I still can't find the other bag. I think the cats drug it under the bed. They get a hold of everything, literally, and they take the dog too, if they can get a hold of something. But no, that was my guess because ever since we've used them, it has been. I'm just wondering, but the reason I mentioned that is because the box had a crap load of dust. That's what I said. I said marshmallows.
Marshmallows.
Looks like my ex. George, stop. Try toast your marshmallow.
Aaron says permethrin is the number one prescription for scabies. Not so uncommon in your part of the world. Mine.
You would know that, wouldn't you, there, Aaron?
Well, it is.
Well, scabies, lice, every type of bugs, everything here. I mean, it's crazy the amount of that's making me itch just thinking about the whole thing.
Yeah. No, we're at the bottom.
No, I got that.
Found out today there's a rule that if you're married to a Filipino, you're entitled to 1 year visa-free entry, whereas everyone else gets 30 days.
Yes, that's
called the buy-in visa.
Yes. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. I just posted something for members only about stand your ground because they're going to try to mess with you in the airports. Matter of fact, I barely got out of Los Angeles when I came here, and we had to fight them. They were ready, and I'm like, shit, the tickets were paid for. They were really expensive. At least triple back then when we left. And I'm like, I'm not losing a ticket over this hoe. And I said, she better pull herself together. The ticket woman just didn't want to let us on. And they were trying to say that it was still closed off to Billy Bynes, but that's why we waited that long. And in the end, they said, okay, well, those aren't the rules. And they tried to mess with you, and they will try to test
And we
you.
even printed everything, the visa, how Billy Bynes works, and everything. It's like,
right. So
here it is. Here's the article, like article as in the law.
So it's kind of it's kind of like everything. There's a good balance, because with George, he was okay, and that had been it. George just would have packed it up and went home and just dealt with it later. And there's a lot of
within reason.
You've gotten better. I'm gonna let you know that you're getting better, and the last month or two, you've really stood your ground. But for the most part, when I first met you, up to probably the first year or two, you probably just would have went home and just took the refund and just dealt with it later. But there's just points where you have to have a good balance here too. Know when to go forward and know when to go back, so you don't end up in jail or lose your visa, because a lot of people are like me. It's like you already sold everything, you already moved everything, and you've done everything. And so it's like you want to make sure that you're not going to be in the hole if something like, that you don't want to end up in jail.
In retrospect, I probably should have gotten that refund. Could have gotten my PS5.
Retrospect, we probably should have stayed in Mexico.
Paul Pierce. Thaddeus says, just say no to Filipinas.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Hey, Geechee, how you doing? Geechee, Heidi and George, hello. Finished my live stream a little while ago.
Hey.
Salem says, I experienced overdraft. Only funds is only in my mind. Right? I know, right? Scabies. Ugh. Dan says, I feel bad for the guy. Jim that just returned to the U.S. Excellent Jim, Philippines. He said his wife lost her wedding ring.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to skip this because Dexel and Jim, that's the ones that is having that full drama thing, and his son got beat up, and he's been dragging that out and a bunch of other stuff. And there's been, I hate to say it, do we even know? Okay, so whole point is odd. What's that got to do with anything? I'm done. Live stream over. I'm out.
Okay.
Well, sorry.
No,
it was the end of the live stream to begin with, and then oddly at the end, what is
we're saying our goodbyes. You don't have to say it like that.
I do. Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being with us. I appreciate you guys' inputs. I wish I could read it all, but we'd be here all day. But thank you again, and thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much, Ed from Queens. Thank you so much. Thank you for our moderator for being here, Ted. Ted was with here today. Thank you for our regulars. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Sarah Tyson. Thank you so much. Paychecks Pepper was with us today. Also, Laura was with us today. And of course, Salem the realtor.
Nothing. I don't know what people's deal is about bringing up other channels. It's one of my pet peeves, because it's not even close to the subject. And if we wanted to cover Dexel and Jim, we would have actually covered them. I don't mind it, but like
Bobby G. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, we've even been asked to, and it's just an odd situation, because it's just, you realize how many millions of vloggers literally are here, and how many mostly live outside and only do part-time and all of that. No, little to no interest in that story, because there's definitely way more going on. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's enough going on to even cover them. So.
Right. No, I got you. I got you. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it so much for being with us. If you want to add more to the story, or if you have more information, again, feel free to drop a comment on the video on the live below, and then you can voice it out. Okay, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Thanks,
Love you all.
guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.